Hi guys, welcome back to another exciting video, so sit back, relax, and let's get started. I wonder what happened to make those faces, Kendo said, quite surprised by the expression of the girls. Yeah, that other guy just pushed Naruto and it was an accident. Not something he did on purpose, said Takage. Camera pans to Naruto and Sasuke who are kissing. Now the audience has the same faces as the girls as they can hardly believe what they are seeing. Everything they could have imagined, this surpassed anything they could have thought. What the hell? He ended up kissing that emo just because an extra pushed him. Bakugo was completely stunned by what he just saw. So it seems Midoriya was also stunned by the scene where Sasuke and Naruto kiss. Some in the audience, the villains and some of the students, can't help but laugh at how funny they find the situation and the girls' expressions. Even Kushina can't help but laugh at the ridiculousness of the situation. The girls and several of the extras are looking stunned at the scene. Not knowing exactly how to react to the bizarre situation, Sakura is totally horrified with what she is seeing that she ends up fainting. Inner Sakura appears. Inner Sakura, cha. This is humiliating. I'm supposed to be Sasuke's first kiss. Naruto will pay for this. Cha. Oh really? Is that what she thinks of this situation? Shoji exclaimed, seeing Sakura's reaction. She's upset because she won't be able to be the Emo's first kiss anymore. Seriously, what's wrong with this girl? Bakugo said. I can't honestly say I don't understand her. I wouldn't be too happy if something like that happened to me either, Ashido said, to which several girls nodded in agreement. Besides, they seemed to think that Naruto did it on purpose as some kind of prank. And not that it was just an accident, said Yaoyorozu. Several in the audience agreed with this observation. I can never really understand women, Aizawa said, seeing Inner Sakura. Naruto and Sasuke finally separate and both seem quite upset by the kiss, while the others look at them surprised and somewhat disgusted. Sasuke, you will pay me, Naruto. Student, what strangers? It doesn't look like Sasuke is very happy, Shoto said. Can you blame him? That must have been extremely uncomfortable for him, asked Shinzo. But it was an accident, Yuri said. Yes, but it seems that only Naruto knows. The others seem to think it's another one of his pranks, Mirio said. Naruto looks in the direction of the girls who are furious with him. Sakura, Naruto, you're more than dead. Naruto, don't worry, it was an accident. Sakura, furious, finished. Naruto, looking very scared, wait a minute. I really don't envy Naruto right now, Kaminari said, somewhat scared for the girls. You are not the only one, Ajiro said. I should never make a girl angry, especially not several. It really pissed those girls off. Minda was also scared. Scene cuts to where the Hokage and the Jounin are, who have seen the embarrassing situation from the Hokage's crystal ball, all looking rather uncomfortable. Hiruzen, as always, Naruto is in the middle of some kind of trouble. Honestly, he's not wrong. We only watched 3 episodes including this one, and in all of them Naruto is in the middle of some trouble, Ectoplasm said, to which the rest of the teachers agreed. Naruto is what I would consider a problem child, Aizawa said, earning him a glare from Kushina. Scene cuts to the room where Naruto and the rest are. Uruka is standing in front of the room giving a speech about how as of today they are all ninjas and how even though they went through hardships and challenges to get there, it's nothing compared to what is coming now. And that all of them are going to be grouped in teams of 3 with a Jounin and a sensei. So that's their system. They group them in 3s and a Jounin will be their sensei to guide them from now on. How interesting, Nezu said. It honestly reminds me a little bit of internships, where students learn at pro heroes agencies about what it's like to be a hero, Midnight said, to which several heroes nodded in agreement, finding some similarities between this teaching system and theirs. Although these are just kids, students don't usually do internships until their sophomore year. Well, at least until now, said All Might, who disagrees with this, as he wants the students to have their time to grow and mature before facing how dark a hero's life can be. Misfortunes can happen at any time, All Might, Aizawa replied to his fellow teacher, so you better be prepared to face them. And if you want to be heroes, you will have to take your training seriously. And if you don't, Aizawa couldn't finish what he was going to say, as he remembered his late friend Oboro made him very sad. That is why he is so strict with his students, since he does not want them to suffer the same fate as Oboro, which made the heroes sad and the students wonder what happened to their teacher. Even so, it never ceases to amaze me that they, who are so much younger than us, are doing their own version of the practices, Shishida said, to which several nodded in agreement. Naruto, who looks pretty beat up, Ino and Sakura, oh, Ino, wow, someone will be on Sasuke's team, I wonder who. Sakura, I have no idea. Inner Sakura, who looks very angry, cha. I'll be with Sasuke, so stay away from the witch. And of course the 2 idiots would be interested to see which one of them ends up on the Emo's team, Shigaraki said, bored watching Ino and Sakura fight over Sasuke. Seriously, what's wrong with those 2? That guy clearly only sees them for the nuisance that they are, Dabai said, also annoyed by the attitude of those 2. Even the others in the audience can't help but agree with them, since Ino and Sakura are really acting so foolish. If those are their priorities, they should reconsider why they are there. If they were my students, I would expel them, Aizawa said. Sasuke, teams of 3. That will cheer me up. Apparently someone doesn't like teamwork, Kaminari said. Well, he's not the only one. Many professional heroes don't like him, like Mirko or my father either, said Shoto. They believe that working alone is better. And I once thought so too, he finished saying while remembering his failure in the provisional license exam. If he had worked as a team with his classmates and had not fought with that Shiksu student, he would have passed without a doubt. His brothers, seeing how he was, hugged him to comfort him. Naruto, I want to be with Sakura, and well, I don't care as long as I don't touch Sasuke. Are you seriously still interested in that girl? With how little interest she has in him, and clearly interested in Sasuke, Kota said. Well, what can I tell you, Kota? You'll understand when you grow up, Midoriya said, somewhat uncomfortable having to talk about this topic with a child. Kota just shrugged since he really can't understand it. Uruka, we want each team to be balanced in strength and abilities. That's what we base our selection on. Now I will announce the teams. How interesting. I really want to see more of these teams and their abilities, Nezu said, as he added sugar to his tea. And me too. I already want to see more of the skills of these ninjas, Midoriya said, as he wrote down this new information in his notebook. I wonder what kind of skills they will have. Combat, obviously they must have. But I don't think they have rescue and evacuation training like the heroes. They must have other kinds of special skills, like the jutsus we already saw, and possibly many more. Midoriya was interrupted. Stop talking, Deku. Is very annoying. Bakugo yelled. I'm sorry, Midoriya apologized, somewhat embarrassed. Uruka, Team 7. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto is surprised to hear his name, Sakura Haruna. Naruto cheers, but Sakura lowers her head as she doesn't want to be on the same team as Naruto and Sasuke Uchiha. Now the scene is reversed. Sakura is the one who is celebrating and Naruto is the one who is downcast. Well, this is ironic. Those three ended up on the same team together, Gyro said. Although the episode title already foreshadowed that. I really wonder if they're going to end up being friends or enemies, Ribitasui said, while Midoriya writes down the information about Team 7. Well, I already know that they are going to end up being friends, although I really want to see how they ended up being. Kushina thought. Hinata, she's looking in Naruto's direction and looks sad. I don't touch Naruto anymore. Oh, she really has a crush on him, Ashido said excitedly. It's a shame Naruto is interested in Sakura and doesn't seem to notice her, La Brava said. Well, everything can change. So far we haven't seen an interaction between them. Maybe they get along, but Naruto only sees her as a friend, or that she's shy and doesn't dare tell him what she feels, said Hagakure, who, like Ashido and La Brava, wants to see more of the relationship between these two. She must literally be the only person who wants to team up with Naruto, said Recovery Girl. Although none of them should know that he is the Jinchuriki, so it's probably because of his pranks or that he's a bad student, Ada said, whereupon some nodded in agreement with this observation. Uruka, next teammate, Hinata Hyuga. Hinata reacts to hearing her name. Hinata, yes sir. So that's her name. Hinata Hyuga, Midoriya said as he wrote down this new information in his notebook. It is a very pretty name, Hagakure said. It's good that we finally know her name. I didn't want to keep calling her the girl who looks like Kyoka anymore, Ashido said. That we don't look alike, Gyro complained once more. Uruka, Kiba and Yuzuka. Focus shifts to a boy with spiky hair, red markings on his face, and an excited smile. Kiba, ha ha ha. Uruka, Shino Aburame. Now the focus is on a boy with a coat that covers part of his face and round black glasses. Midoriya writes down the names of these boys in his notebook. Sakura makes a gesture to make fun of Ino, since the one who is going to be with Sasuke is her and not Ino, which causes Ino to get angry. Ino, why did I have you on that team? I don't know, ask your teacher, Rin said, somewhat tired of Ino and Sakura's attitude. Inner Sakura, cha. True love conquers all. True love. Someone needs a dose of reality, Kendo said, feeling embarrassed by Sakura's behavior, just like the girls in the audience. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that boy isn't interested at all, Gyro said, extremely embarrassed. Not only is he not interested, he sees her as a nuisance, Kodai said. Well, a girl can dream, right? Plus, if they're going to be on the same team, chances are they'll end up getting closer, and who knows? Maybe if they end up falling in love, Ashido said. Could be. But for now it seems unlikely, Nejire said, to which several in the audience nodded in agreement. Ino, GRRR. Shikamaru, I don't get it. They see a guy like him, not that it was that special. It's the same thing that I wonder, what do they see in that guy? There is nothing extraordinary about it. Minda complained. You only say that because you're jealous, Ribbit answered Asui. Ino, you have no idea about anything, Shikamaru, what don't you see? Actually, it's not that hard to understand, Ashido said. I don't understand how they don't see it, Hagakure said, while the boys just sighed since they really don't see Sasuke having anything extraordinary. Shikamaru, no, because I'm not a girl. And I think that defines it perfectly, Honuki said. Yes, I can't understand women because I'm not one, Aizawa agreed. I think we can all identify with that boy, Shota said, whereupon the rest of the men nodded in agreement. Ino, size, you're so self-centered, jealousy is terrible. I would hate to be on your team. I bet they're going to get on the same team, Mr. Compress said. It would be terribly ironic if that were the case, Spinner said. Uruka, Team 10, Ino Yamanaka Shikamaru Nara Ino is surprised to see that she has been dealt with Shikamaru. Shikamaru, what were you saying? What would you hate to team up with me? Ino, GRR, said and done. Those two are on the same team, Mr. Compress said. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that she didn't see it coming. She should have known that she was going to be part of the Ino Shika Cho of her generation, Kushina thought. Uruka and Choji Akamichi focus on a fat boy who is eating chips at full speed. Ino, no, not with the fatty. It seems that someone is not very happy with the equipment she got, Suburaba said as Midoriya notes this new information in his notebook. Well, it's not surprising. Not only did her rival end up on the same team as the guy they like, but she also ended up with two others that she apparently doesn't get along with very well, Yaoyorozu said. You must be very disappointed, Komori said. Remember this lesson, students. As heroes you must work as a team on many occasions, Aizawa said, even with people you don't like, saying this last. He looks at Bakugo and Midoriya, who couldn't help but remember the exams they took together and their teamwork. And so it's important that you can put your differences aside if you want to become heroes, and you shouldn't go around fighting each other, saying that. Aizawa also looked at Shoto, who was embarrassed when he remembered his fight with Inasa during the provisional license exam. Fortunately, it was just an exercise and there are no real victims. But if it was a real situation, many people could be affected by his actions, because if they waste time fighting over stupid things, other people could be affected, finished saying. Always remember the example of the Avengers, how despite their differences they were able to unite to defeat Loki and his army, Midnight said, to which the students nodded in agreement, since they recognized the importance of teamwork and that they must improve on this. Uruka, those are the teams. Naruto, Uruka-sensei, stops and points to Sasuke. What does a great ninja like me have to do on the same team with that guy? Sakura glares at him. Most likely there is a reason why they were put together in the same team. Your sensei said it at the beginning. These teams are formed according to the abilities of their members, Nezu said, to which the rest of the teachers nodded in agreement. Though I wonder what his problem is with Sasuke, said Pixie Bob. Uruka, Sasuke had the best graduation average of all, Naruto. You are the worst of all. The other students laugh. Uruka, to create a balanced team, we put the best and the worst student together. You shouldn't be surprised by that, if you failed the graduation exam 3 times, exclaimed Ida. Og, I wish they would do something like that in the final exams. If they had put me with Yamomo I would have passed for sure, Kaminari said. Although I appreciate your trust, Denki, I'm really not so sure about that, she gave Yaoyorozu, as she remembers her final exam perfectly, and that if Shoto hadn't helped her with her confidence problem she might have failed. Naruto, GRRR. Sasuke, just make sure you don't get in my way, loser. Naruto glares at him, while the rest of the students continue to laugh. Naruto, hey, what did you say? They argue for a while until Sakura tells them to shut up. Uruka, ahem. After lunch they will meet their new Jounin teachers, until then rest. Something tells me that those 3 are going to have a hard time working as a team, Cementos said, with which the rest of the teachers agreed. But probably the Jounin they are assigned can help them and guide them in the right direction to become great ninjas. All Might said. I hope so, Aizawa said. Change of scene. Sakura is in the courtyard of the academy looking for Sasuke. Naruto approaches her but she rudely rejects him. When he tries to appeal to the fact that they are teammates she calls him annoying and leaves to continue looking for Sasuke. While Naruto he looks at her sadly. Seeing this exchange between Naruto and Sakura, several in the audience snorted in disgust of her rude attitude towards Naruto, especially Kushina, who could barely contain her anger at seeing this. If it weren't for the fact that she knows that Sakura changed her attitude and she ended up being friends with her son, she would get up to hit the screen. Obviously that idiot is only interested in Imo, which clearly doesn't share the same interest. Shigaraki snorted, already fed up with Sakura and her attitude. He's just trying to be nice to her. Why is that girl so bad? Eri asked, who can't understand why someone would react like that to someone who was nice to her. I really don't know what to say, Eri. Mirio replied. I understand that you are not interested in Naruto, but no need to be so rude, Nejire said, quite upset. That's so disgusting. Hurting someone's feelings like that, Melissa said, since she can't imagine treating someone who wants to be her friend like that. Scene cuts to a rooftop. Naruto is on a water tank reflecting on the fact that he is with Sakura and Sasuke. He is happy to be with Sakura, but upset that Sasuke is there too. The most amazing thing of all is that he's still interested in that girl despite how rude she was to him, Kaibara said. Well, he's interested in her, after all. And when that happens you overlook a lot, La Brava said, remembering her first love and how bad that turned out. Don't worry, dear. I will always be by your side, Gentle said, noticing La Brava's sadness, hugging her to make her feel a little better. Thanks, love, La Brava said, much happier now. Naruto, there must be some way to deal with it. Sees Sasuke at a window and has an idea. Got it. Oh, something tells me this isn't going to end well, Ectoplasm said, seeing what just happened. Naruto is definitely planning something, Cement said. Scene changes. On another balcony, Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji are meeting. Ino tries to become the leader of the team, while Shikamaru thinks she'll go into hysterics if she doesn't get what she wants. Choji is only interested in food, and Ino ends up lamenting the team she got. Great, we just needed to see the other idiot, Shigaraki said, scratching his neck aggressively. Those two really are very annoying. If I could, I would kill them for how annoying they are. While All for One smiles to see that the experience of observing other universes is not softening his disciple. That fat guy is only interested in food. How pathetic, Bakugo said after seeing Choji's attitude, and the pineapple head acts as if he doesn't care. He just can't take things seriously. Maybe he's just trying to calm things down, since he knows that Ino isn't very happy in her team, Kaken Midoriya said, and because he knows that calling her hysterical in front of her would be a bad idea. TFFFF, Bakugo snorted. Shikamaru sees something that catches his attention. Naruto sneaking up to where Sasuke is. Shikamaru, Naruto. This gets Ino's attention and she turns to look. Don't tell me he's really going to ectoplasm. Couldn't finish what he was going to say. Naruto walks in on Sasuke, catching him off guard. Shikamaru and Ino stare in disbelief. The window closes so they can't see what's happened. Banging and shouting are heard, hinting that Sasuke and Naruto are fighting. And if he just did ectoplasm side, he shouldn't attack a teammate like that. Kid is said, annoyed by what he is seeing, to which several in the audience nod in agreement. Ino, Naruto, if you scratch it, you'll be my enemy forever. Seriously, is that what worries her? For Sasuke to have scratches and not see two classmates fight. Shota said, someone needs to review their priorities. Kamakiri said. More blows are heard, until suddenly everything calms down. Shikamaru and Ino continue to watch in shock. Ino, what happened? It's what we want to know. What the hell just happened? Exclaimed Minta. The fight is over, Shoto replied. I already know that. What I want to know is who won. Minta said. I guess we'll see, Shoto answered once more. The scene changes to the interior of the room where Sasuke and Naruto are. We can see Naruto knocked down on the floor and Sasuke standing up and triumphant. Sasuke, nice try. Sasuke comes out and Shikamaru and Ino look at him and Choji eats like nothing. Shikamaru, he beat Naruto without even breaking a sweat. Ino, what did you expect? Naruto versus my boy Sasuke is not competition. I wouldn't be so sure about that. After all, Naruto has already defeated two very strong enemies, Katsuma said. Boy, he only defeated them because he took them by surprise with their techniques. In other circumstances I wouldn't have had a chance, Aizawa said. Besides, if Sasuke is the best in his class, he must be someone quite skilled, Midoriya said. I understand, Katsuma said, after thinking about it for a bit. And that fat guy kept eating without even flinching. Seriously. What is wrong with people in this world? Bakugo exclaimed. Scene changes. Sakura is sitting on a bench eating lunch alone, while she thinks about Sasuke and how she might have thought that he likes her since she doesn't consider herself very attractive and complains about her billboard brow. She is surprised to see Sasuke leaning against a tree not far from where she is. I don't know what she's complaining about. She's not bad at all, Minta said, which caused the women in the audience to look at him furiously. Don't even think about dirty things with her. Uraraka yelled at him furiously. She may not be a fan of Sakura's attitude, but she won't let Minta make her a target of his dirty tricks. She's just a girl, perverted. Asui exclaimed. I just wanted him to feel a little better. Minta trembled with fear. Besides, she's not even my type, he tried to defend, which softens the eyes a bit. MHH, don't even think about trying anything with any of those girls, Hagakure told him, to which Minta could only nod, still quite scared. Sakura, seeing Sasuke looking at her, blushes and is happy. He also imagines Sasuke declaring his love. Seeing Sakura's fantasies with Sasuke, several in the audience were blushing with embarrassment, while some giggled at the awkwardness of the situation, and the children looked quite confused at this scene. This is really very uncomfortable, Honuki said. And embarrassing, Ojiro added, to which several students nodded in agreement. But she gets discouraged, thinking that this is just a fantasy and not something that will actually happen. Well, at least she is realistic and knows that this will never happen, Monoma scoffed. Hey, you don't know that. Things can change in the future, Ashido replied to the student from Class B. And of course someone from Class A would say something like that, since they are so pat. Monoma couldn't finish what he was going to say because Kendo silenced him with a blow. I apologize for him, Kendo said. Seriously, there's no need, Ashido replied. This guy seriously needs a therapist. Sasuke, Sakura, you have a beautiful forehead. Sakura is surprised to hear this. That makes me want to kiss him. Inner Sakura, cha. Annotation. Now the audience is quite surprised by this turn of events, since until now they had not shown any interest in Sakura nor in the other girls. Sasuke, just kidding. That's the kind of nonsense Naruto would say. Sakura becomes discouraged at this. I'd like to ask you something. He sits next to her and she looks at him. Naruto, what do you think of him? Something's not right here, Nezu said, looking at the scene suspiciously. Yeah, definitely. There's no point in me asking him that when he's already shown that he doesn't care in the slightest about his teammates. Aizawa said, don't tell me he really did it. Although I shouldn't be surprised by now. That kid is really troublesome, Aizawa thought, deducing what had happened. While the others looked confused at the scene, some, like Aizawa, already figured out what happened, but decided not to say anything so as not to ruin the surprise for those who haven't noticed yet. Sakura, he knows about my feelings and purposefully interferes. He enjoys interfering and making me feel bad, Naruto. He doesn't understand anything about me. It's so annoying. Sasuke is surprised to hear this. All I want is for you to accept me, Sasuke, that's all. Now several in the audience are shooting shocked or angry looks at Sakura as they can hardly believe their eyes. Kushina is so furious right now that if it wasn't for Ragdoll, she would have jumped up and punched the screen by now. Honestly, I don't understand her either. This girl is so weird, said Mainta, who was saved from furious looks, because even the girls agree. It doesn't have to be that way with Naruto. He was just nice to her and she's the one who acted so rude. Ashido exclaimed. She seriously thinks that Naruto wants to make her feel bad on purpose. Rather, the one trying to make him feel bad on purpose is her, with her horrible attitude. Inagi exclaimed. That girl is a witch, Tsunotori exclaimed, which caused Kendo and Takage to look in the direction of Monoma, who avoided looking at them. We really have to get her away from Monoma, or she's going to end up just like him, Kendo said. I agree, Takage said. She's just an idiot who's obsessed with Emo, said Shigaraki, already fed up with Sakura, with which several in the audience couldn't help but agree, because so far that's all Sakura has shown. Sasuke, do you want me to accept you? Sakura, blushing, yes, that's what I want and I would do anything for it. She approaches him wanting to kiss him. Sasuke is surprised and doesn't seem sure what to do. Now everyone in the audience is quite surprised to see Sakura's attitude towards Sasuke. I would do anything for that boy. It's worrisome to say the least, Yanagi said. I agree, La Brava said. Scene changes to the place where Naruto and Sasuke fought. Inside the room, Sasuke can be seen tied to the floor trying to get free, while he thinks about how Naruto caught him off guard. There is also a flashback of the fight which shows how Naruto used the substitution jutsu to trick Sasuke, and used the shadow clone jutsu to reduce him, and finally used the transformation jutsu to become Sasuke. And he was right, Aizawa said when he saw what had happened. Wow, he really fooled us, Sato exclaimed. That jutsu is certainly very useful, Midoriya said. Though he trembles a bit since it reminds him too much of Himiko Toga's quirk, except that it's more dangerous since he can shapeshift without restriction. I wish I could be as good as him, Toga said. Sasuke, in class he couldn't do even a simple clone. I never thought that he could combine the shadow clone jutsu with the substitution jutsu. Well, he really had no way of knowing how much Naruto progressed in these episodes, so it's only logical that he was taken by surprise. Present, Mike said, to which the rest nodded in agreement. He's really grown a lot this time, All Might said. And according to Iruka, this is only the beginning. Now the really difficult part is coming, Midnight said. Well, he's really not wrong about that, Kushina said, knowing how difficult the life of a genin can be. Meanwhile, Midoriya is surprised by the new jutsu that Naruto has used and writes down what he has learned about it. Scene changes to where Sasuke and Sakura, who wants to kiss him, are. Sakura, it's true, I'm desperate. Sasuke, I finally know why I like Sakura so much, leans in to kiss her. I finally get it. Now the girls in the audience are quite upset by what they are seeing. They may not like Sakura's attitude, but that doesn't mean they like someone cheating on her like that. I really don't see what he sees, Zero said, to which several of the boys nodded in agreement. Sasuke's stomach growls suddenly, causing him to break away from Sakura with a pained expression and hold his stomach in his hands. Sasuke, my stomach, what a bad time. Gets up and runs away. Sakura, hey, but what's wrong with you? Sasuke, I'll be right back. Sakura, blushing and flushing, maybe he needs time to get ready. Now the audience is quite worried about Naruto. I wonder what happened to him, Recovery Girl said, worried that Naruto might have a health issue, as did several in the audience, particularly Kushina. We see Sasuke run in a hurry to a bathroom. Once inside, he transforms again, revealing that he is indeed Naruto. Naruto, so close, my stomach hurts so much that I almost lost control of the jutsu. Why did it just have to happen at that moment? Just when I was about to. Oh, she's really lucky she didn't transform in front of Sakura. If she got mad earlier because I kissed Sasuke, I don't even want to imagine how mad she would have been at Naruto for trying to trick her like that, Kodai said, to which several in the audience nodded in agreement. While Midoriya feels quite uncomfortable as it reminds him at the same time that Toga almost tricked him by posing as Ochako. Naruto, she thinks I'm annoying. I transform into Sasuke, I get close to Sakura, and she comes up with this. I know what I should do. If I make Sasuke act hateful, he will hate him more than me. And of course Naruto would come up with a plan like that, Kamakiri said. That's a bad idea, Kaibara said. Scene changes. Sakura is still sitting on the bench and is excited to see Sasuke. Sakura, very excited. Sasuke, you're back. Don't be shy, silly boy, you're ready. Because I do, and I really want to. Sasuke walks past her without even looking at her. Hey. Wait a minute, Sasuke turns to look at her. Sasuke, where is Naruto? This is the real Sasuke, Kaminari says. And obviously he's looking for Naruto. After what happened between them, I can't say I'm surprised, Bondo said, to which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement. And Sakura has no idea that it's Naruto she was with and not Sasuke, Yanagi said, somewhat annoyed that Naruto had deceived Sakura like that. Better that he never finds out, said Minda, scared just imagining Sakura's anger at discovering that she was deceived like that. Sakura, see, there you are changing the subject again anyway. Naruto just wants to fight you. Do you know why it's so annoying? Because I didn't grow well, he had no parents to teach him what is right or wrong. Think about it. Do the first thing that comes to mind. Sasuke glares at her. If I did things like Naruto, my parents would go crazy. I'd be in serious trouble. Of course I don't. But if you don't have parents to tell you anything, then how would you know? He is so selfish and tantrum, he is so lonely. Now the audience is quite upset with Sakura for what she just said. As if a brat like her could understand it, Shigaraki was absolutely furious at what he just heard. That girl doesn't have the slightest idea of anything, much less what Naruto's life is like, exclaimed Spinner. What can you expect from a brat who probably hasn't had a bad time in her life, Dabai said, also annoyed with Sakura. Although the rest of the audience didn't say anything, they can't help but agree that Sakura really doesn't have the slightest idea of anything. But if it weren't for the episodes they've seen and what Naruto's life is like, they would probably agree with her, which made them realize that they can't rush to judge people without knowing their circumstances, like they did with the Hulk. Kushina is really upset by what Sakura just said, and if she didn't know that she eventually changed and became friends with her son, she would go looking for her right now to hit her. Sasuke, alone, bleak. Sakura, huh? Sasuke, I'm not talking about your parents' reprimands. You have no idea what it means to be alone. Sakura, surprised, why are you telling me this? Now the audience is surprised to see that in a way Sasuke is defending Naruto. I don't understand why he would defend him after what he did to him, said Mahoro, quite surprised by this fact. Well, it's because unlike other people, Sasuke can better understand Naruto and the fact that he grew up pretty much alone, Kushina said, somewhat saddened by this fact. The audience is surprised to note this fact and that Sasuke can somehow empathize with Naruto because he understands his loneliness. And they wonder what happened to him and his clan. Sasuke, because you're annoying. Sakura looks at him in shock. Unable to believe what she just heard, Sasuke walks away to continue looking for Naruto, leaving a shocked Sakura there. Now several in the audience laugh at this, since Sasuke just called Sakura annoying. Well, she totally deserved it, Kirishima said while laughing. Damn yeah, Shigaraki said as he smiled, seeing that Sakura got a taste of her own medicine. Scene change. Naruto is still in the bathroom. Naruto, but what a good plan of action, so what am I doing sitting here? I have to hurry. I hope Sakura is still waiting. Runs out of the bathroom and runs into Sasuke in the hallway, startled, and stops in front of him. I really hope you're okay, said Recovery Girl, worried once again for Naruto's health, as were several in the audience, especially Kushina. Although Sasuke is going to be really upset with him, Katsuma said. Can you blame him? His sister asked, to which Katsuma shook his head, since if he were in Sasuke's shoes he would be pretty upset too. Naruto, Sasuke, what are you doing here? How did you escape? Sasuke, use the escape jutsu, don't even sweat. It's a very basic technique. Naruto looks very surprised. Why did you do that? Transform you into me. To get closer to Sakura, answered Awase. Cheating on a girl like that is very unmanly, Kirishima said, upset that Naruto had tried to trick Sakura like that. I concur, said Tetsu. With which the rest of the audience, including Kushina, agree, since it seems wrong to deceive someone like that. Naruto, I thought it would be fun to try my moves on you, so I did. Performs the shadow clone jutsu and prepares to attack Sasuke. Sasuke, the same technique again. Excellent. Some action, Bakugo said, glad to see a fight, as did several in the audience who were also excited to see round 2 of the fight between Naruto and Sasuke. Though I wonder who will win, Uraraka said. Well, in their previous fight Naruto was able to win because he caught him off guard and because Sasuke didn't know about Naruto's new ability. But now Sasuke not only has more knowledge of Naruto's abilities and is aware of him, but also if he's the best student in his class, Sasuke must be someone extremely skilled, Midoriya said. To which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement, finding this explanation reasonable. That has been a very good analysis, Nezu said, praising the analysis Midoriya has done. Clone Naruto, you'll see what I can do. Clone Naruto, I'll beat you real quick. Clone Naruto, then you'll have to admit that I'm the best. The clones attack Sasuke, but are interrupted because Naruto's stomach hurts again, which causes the clones to writhe in pain to finally head back to the bathroom. Before the look of a surprised Sasuke, who can't even move, seeing how the clones fight over who will enter the bathroom first. Sasuke, how pathetic, walks away. Now the audience is quite surprised by this, since they didn't expect round 2 to end this way. They are also worried about Naruto's health. This is already worrying, said Recovery Girl, quite concerned for Naruto's health, as were several in the audience, in particular Kushina. The Amo is right. This is pathetic, Bakugo complained when he saw the result of the fight. The scene changes. Sakura is sitting on the same bench as before, reflecting on what just happened. Sakura, am I annoying? Yes, several in the audience said as they completely agree with Sasuke saying. Not to say that she is an idiot who is obsessed with Amo, Shigaraki said up. How long am I going to keep watching this? I'm already tired of watching this stupid drama. To which some in the audience agreed because they are already tired of this. Sakura, that's what he said, now I get it. This is how Naruto must feel. I'm not going to treat him like that anymore. The next time I see him I'll be nice. Now the audience is completely surprised by this change in Sakura's attitude, since until now she behaved like a brat obsessed with Sasuke. But it is also true that she is just a girl and seems to have noticed her mistakes, and they want to see how her relationship with him will Naruto in the future, except the villains who still aren't convinced that Sakura has completely changed. Mind, even Kushina is surprised to see this, and even knowing that Sakura ended up being good friends with Naruto. She is surprised by how their friendship began, since it is very different from the beginning of her friendship with Makoto. But she is also happy that Sakura has changed at least a little his stance with his son. Naruto walks by still in pain and holding his stomach, while Sakura watches him. Naruto, maybe I ate something rotten. Sakura, there's Naruto's smile. She tries to smile. You can see that she still doesn't like Naruto at all, Shinso said. At least she's trying to be nicer, but it's going to take her a while to get used to it, Kodai said, to which several nodded in agreement. I wonder what he'll have eaten if I end up like this, Awase said, concerned for Naruto's health. I'm not sure, but I hope he recovers, said Recovery Girl. Sakura, hey Naruto, shall we walk back to school together? Naruto looks at her suspiciously. Naruto, did she really say that? Sakura smiles but looks uncomfortable. She never smiles at me like that. I honestly don't blame him for being suspicious, Shota said. Yeah, if someone who was mean to me for a long time suddenly started acting nicer, I would be suspicious too, Komori said. It reminds me a bit of Carrie, where the protagonist believed that a boy who was being nice to her was just trying to make fun of her because everyone at her school was a bully, Yanagi said, earning her several looks. It's a movie from the pre-Quirk era, where a bullied girl discovers that she has telekinesis, and during prom, after a practical joke, she uses her quirk to get revenge on those who tormented her. What provoked surprised and frightened looks in the students. I only saw her because Carrie's quirk is very similar to mine, although hers is more powerful since she isn't limited to the weight of the average human like mine. I finish explaining. That sounds like a horror movie, said Hagakure, somewhat scared. Definitely not something I would see, Uraraka said. Carrie is hands down one of my favorite movies, said Toga quite happily, since he particularly enjoys a certain scene. Of course you would like it, said Dabai, who, although he did not see the movie, did read the book several years ago. Naruto, Sasuke must have turned into Sakura to collect it. Are you trying to trick me? Well, forget it, smart boy. He tries to do a jutsu, but the stomachache interrupts him once more, causing him to run to the bathroom once more and Sakura to stare at it in confusion, before getting annoyed with Naruto once more. Okay, that wasn't exactly good. But at least I didn't get to attack her, Kendo said, seeing what just happened. He thought Sakura was Sasuke using the transformation jutsu. Well, after what we saw, it makes some sense if you think about it, Shota said. Luckily for Naruto, Sasuke didn't try to get back at him for what he did to him, Shiro said. Probably because he saw that dealing with that jerk is just a waste of time, Bakugo exclaimed, earning him a blow to the head from Kushina. AGH. What came that witch for? Furious shout looking at Kushina. If you say something like that again, I will hit you again, Kushina exclaimed furiously, looking at Bakugo, leaving the audience surprised and Bakugo furious. If it weren't for Aizawa stopping him to avoid provoking the wrath of the deity, he would have attacked Kushina. I just hope your relationship improves in the future, Ribitasui said about the newly formed Team 7. And may Naruto recover, said Recovery Girl. Scene changed to Naruto's house. The Hokage and Kakashi are there observing the place where Naruto lives. The Hokage also wishes Kakashi luck for the team that he had to lead. Kakashi picks up the milk that Naruto drank that morning and discovers which has expired. Kakashi, one sip of this and you'll be running to the bathroom all day. Looks like this kid is nothing but big trouble. Now the audience is quite shocked by this exchange between the Hokage and Kakashi, and the fact that Kakashi is going to be the sensei of Team 7. Honestly, I don't envy that guy at all. Those three are going to be quite a challenge, Cementos said, to which the rest of the teachers nodded in agreement. That sensei reminds me a bit of you, Shota present, Mike said. Aizawa didn't answer him because he's too busy watching Kakashi. Now he understands a little better why he caught his attention before. Kakashi reminds him a little of himself. So that was it. Expired milk, said Recovery Girl. I really don't understand how he didn't notice. And that's why you have to look at expiration dates on food, because if you don't, you'll end up getting sick like Naruto, Vlad said, worried about his student, which made all the students make a mental note to make sure their food is safe before eating it. Scene cuts to Naruto in the bathroom with a pained expression. Naruto, I'm going to be in the toilet all my life. AGH. Once the episode ended, the audience was quite surprised by what they had seen, as the dynamics of the show changed and new characters were introduced. Plus, they would soon see more of Naruto's relationship with his new teammates. In addition to that, they had learned many new things about the world of Naruto. This show is becoming more and more interesting as the episodes go by. Of the new characters introduced, the ones that stood out the most were without a doubt Sasuke and Sakura, Naruto's new teammates with whom his relationship didn't start off exactly well, but it will probably improve in the future. There was also the sensei who had been assigned to Team 7, who although they didn't see much of until now, but he is definitely going to be someone important in this story, besides that he has a particular interest in Naruto and that he is something similar to Aizawa. And there were also the members of Teams 8 and 10 of whom they also got a first look, and who will probably also be important characters in the future. This episode was certainly quite interesting and can't wait to see more episodes and how the Naruto story continues. Not to mention that they had been able to get to know their new guest a little more and that she had explained a little more about her world. Naruto, he was late. Sakura, Naruto better sit down. Naruto, I don't want to. How is it possible that our teacher is the only one who is late? Looks at Sakura. I'm ready. Really? Your sensei is so irresponsible. How can you be late? Ida complained, making a robotic cut. Maybe he had an emergency. Tenya Urazu told him. You're right, I apologize, Ida said, bowing. While Kushina is sad because she knows exactly what Kakashi is doing. Naruto, the other groups already met their teachers and already had adventures or something, and Uruka-sensei also left. Sakura, we already know noises are heard, and Sakura looks in Naruto's direction. Hey, what are you doing? Sasuke is sitting in his seat looking out of the corner of his eye. Naruto climbed on a chair and placed an eraser at the entrance of the door, and Sakura scolds him. Naruto, that gets taken out for being late, gets off the chair. Although his sensei should arrive on time, you shouldn't do that, Shota said. That's just stupid. You're asking for trouble with that silly joke, Usui said. It's highly likely that your sensei wouldn't find that little joke amusing, Ida said, annoyed once again by Naruto's attitude of not taking things seriously. Sakura, you're asking for trouble. You know you shouldn't do that. Inner Sakura, excited Cha. I love these things. That girl is really very weird, said Mainta, seeing Sakura's attitude, outwardly refusing to make the joke but inwardly very excited. I concur, Kaminari said. Sasuke, HMP, our teacher is a jounin, an elite ninja. Do you think he'll fall for that? Sakura, Sasuke is right. You are a fool, Naruto. And of course the brat agrees with the emo, Shigaraki said while scratching his neck. Though that's not what he really thinks, Toga said. Besides, if his master is a jounin, I really doubt he'd fall for a trick like that, Kurogiri said. A hand reaches for the door to open it. Naruto smiles. Sakura is surprised and Sasuke looks intently. A silver-haired man walks in as the eraser falls on his head. Naruto chuckles at this. Did he really fall for that trick? Several in the audience exclaimed, surprised by what just happened, since they didn't expect an elite ninja to fall for such a stupid trick like that. MMMH, I really don't think that's the case. He certainly must have seen it coming. There must have been a reason for him to fall for that trick, Nezu thought after seeing what just happened. Naruto laughs as he points to Kakashi. I hit him. I fell round. Sakura looks worried. I'm sorry, sensei, I told him not to, but he never listens. I would never do such a thing. Inner Sakura, cheering, he hit the mark. Sasuke, well, if he fell for that cheap trick, is that guy really a jounin? That you wouldn't do such a thing. What are you talking about? Annoyed, Spinner said to Sakura. It's that she would never dare to do it so as not to look bad with her parents, Mr. Compress said. You shouldn't do that. It will only make it worse if you hide your true feelings, Toga said. The emo is right. Is that guy seriously a jounin? How could he have fallen for that trick? Bakugo exclaimed, which earned him a punch from Kushina. Hey, what was that about? Which, learn to be more respectful. Of course, he's a jounin. I was there myself when he was made a jounin, and I'm so proud of him. A furious Kushina yelled at Bakugo. Shut up, Witch. If he was really that good, he wouldn't have fallen for that trick. Bakugo yelled at him. Kushina was going to continue arguing with Bakugo, but both Ragdoll and Aizawa intervened to avoid disturbing the with the former controlling Kushina and the latter controlling Bakugo. Well, Bakugo, very soon you will see what Kakashi is capable of, thought Felicity. Kakashi bends down to pick up the eraser. How do I put it? Puts her hand on her chin and thinks with her eyes closed. My first impression of this group. They are a bunch of idiots. Team 7 is depressed hearing this, while Kakashi looks completely unconcerned. Wow, that sensei is someone very strict, Kaminari said, somewhat intimidated. And you say it. Not even Aizawa sensei is that strict, Sato said, while Aizawa looks at him very interested. So that was it. I analyzed his attitude. I wanted to see his reactions to the joke. That's why he fell for that trick on purpose, Nezu thought as he saw Kakashi's reaction. Episode title, Kakashi Headache. MMH. The episode title gives us another name. I wonder who Kakashi Headache is, Kaminari said. If I had to guess, I'd say it's the sensei, Gyro said, to which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement, as they find this highly probable while Midoriya notes the name in his notebook. Scene cuts to the roof. Kakashi and Team 7 are sitting down. Kakashi asks his students to introduce themselves, saying their likes, dislikes, dreams for the future, hobbies and such. Well, that's a good start. For starters, you should get to know each other a little better, Midnight said as she watched as Kakashi decided to start. If they're going to be teammates. That's a big deal, 13 said, to which the rest of the teachers nodded in agreement. Naruto, why don't you tell us first? I mean, before we talk, tell us so we can see how it's supposed to be. Kakashi points to himself. Me? No, the tree behind you, Shigaraki scoffed. I don't know why he's asking. It's pretty obvious that they're talking to him, Kiwaro said. Kakashi, with a bored expression. I am Kakashi Hadake. The things I like and dislike. No, I don't feel like telling you that. My dreams for the future have never thought about that. As for my hobbies, I have many hobbies. Sakura, disgusted that was completely useless. All he told us was his name. Naruto nods. Now the audience is quite surprised to see Kakashi's presentation. What kind of ridiculous presentation was that? Even Toga and Dabai made a better introduction when they joined the league. And one of them refused to tell me his name, Shigaraki exclaimed. Boss, I have already told you that I will tell you my name when it is time, Dabai replied. And when will that be? Toga asked. Soon, Dabai answered. So the leagues don't know his true identity either. That's interesting, Hawks thought. Dabai, who are you really? He really does look like Aizawa-sensei, Shiro said. To which several in the audience nodded in agreement, especially the students of classes, since they also noticed the similarities between the two, while Midoriya draws a picture of Kakashi in his notebook. Now that his identity has been confirmed. Kakashi, alright, your turn, you the one on the right, you're first. Naruto, really? I'm Naruto Uzumaki, holding his headband. I like instant bowl ramen. And I really like ramen, and Urka-sensei takes me to the Ikaraku noodle stand. I hate the 3 minutes I have to wait for you to pour the water into the bowl of ramen. Kakashi just watches him. My hobbies are eating different types of ramen and comparing them. If Kakashi's presentation surprised the audience, it was nothing compared to their reaction upon hearing Naruto's. If his teacher said practically nothing besides his name. Naruto just talked about how much he likes ramen, Mahiro said. I understand that you like ramen, but that's not the only thing you should talk about, Mirio said. I really like soba, but that's not the only thing I talk about, Shoto said. Don't you eat anything other than ramen? Recovery Girl asked. Worried about Naruto's diet? Probably yes. If he ate only ramen he would get sick, All Might said. Naruto, and my dream for the future is touches his headband with both hands to become the best Hokage. Then the whole village will stop looking down on me and start treating me like I'm someone important. I really hope he can reach his dream, Midoriya said, causing Kushina to look at him in admiration, happy to see someone supporting her son, and several in the audience nodding in agreement as they also want Naruto to achieve his dream. Well, if I succeed, but you will see that as the story progresses, thought Felicity. Kakashi, you've grown in an interesting way. All right, next. Well, interesting is one way of putting it, present, Mike said, to which the rest nodded in agreement. Sakura, slightly blushing. I'm Sakura Haruno. What I like is, or the boy I like is, looks sideways at Sasuke, who looks completely indifferent. My dream for the future is, screams with excitement. Now the audience is divided upon hearing Sakura's introduction. While some laugh, others, especially the women, feel quite embarrassed. I felt embarrassed with that coat, I said, quite embarrassed by what she just heard. This girl so far, the only thing that has shown is that she is obsessed with Sasuke. Kendo also said, embarrassed. And what can you expect from a brat like that? She's obviously someone who hasn't had a bad time in her life, Spinner said. Correction, this is hands down the most ridiculous introduction I've ever heard, Shigaraki said while scratching his neck. The rest of the audience couldn't help but agree. Kakashi, and what do you dislike? Sakura, Naruto is saddened to hear this. Now the audience is pretty upset hearing this last thing and seeing Naruto's reaction. That she's not interested in him is okay, but she doesn't have to be so rude, Nejiire said in disgust, to which several nodded in agreement. Kushina is particularly upset at how Sakura made her son suffer. Kakashi, girls like her are more interested in boys than in their ninja training. Finally. What a surprise, Mr. Compress scoffed. And for you to say so. She's no different from many heroines in our world, Spinner said. That is not true. The heroines of our world are not like that, Ada exclaimed, annoyed by the villain's words. Mount Lady, Uobami. And those are just 2 examples. There are many more that are like that, Spinner replied. Ueda was going to answer him, but Midoriya stopped him. Leave it, Tenya, don't bother. They won't listen to you anyway, Midoriya said. Ah, you're right, Ada replied. Sasuke, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. I dislike many things and I don't like anything in particular. Sakura looks at him surprised. The Emo didn't say anything apart from his name either, Kaminari said. He is someone very serious for his age, Rin said. Well, it's probably because he had to grow up too fast with the loss of his family, Shishida said. To which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement, finding this explanation reasonable. Sasuke, what I have is not a dream because it's going to come true. I'm going to reestablish my clan. Now the audience is saddened a bit since they can understand that the loss of his family affected Sasuke a lot, and that he probably feels lonely and wants to feel the company of a family again. Sasuke, and to destroy someone specific, Sasuke finishes his presentation and his classmates just watch him. Now most of the audience is very shocked and horrified by what Sasuke just said, while the villains are suddenly interested in Sasuke as they have noticed that he is somewhat similar to them. Okay, that sounded scary, said Asui, scared. And that you say it, Uraraka said. He has a look full of hate, Dabai said, looking at him very interested. Something in Sasuke reminded him a little of himself. How interesting, said All For One, watching him carefully. How is it possible for someone so young to think that way? All Might asked, saddened. Well, Sasuke has had a very different life than theirs and suffered a lot. You know, Kushina said, saddened by this fact. Naruto, scared. I just hope he's not talking about me. I don't think Naruto needs to worry. I doubt he's the person Sasuke wishes to eliminate, Tiger said. I wonder who that person is that Sasuke wants to kill, Mandalay said. MMH, Director Nezu, what do you think? Asked Ashido. I sense that it is something related to the disappearance of your clan, but without more information. That is all I can think of, Nezu said after some reflection. Whereupon the rest of the audience nodded in agreement, finding this deduction reasonable. Sakura, surprised and blushing. Sasuke is so sassy. Of course, sassy, didn't she hear that he just said that he wants to kill someone? Kaminari asked. Seriously, what's wrong with that girl? Shoji said. She's dumber than I thought, Shigaraki said. Kakashi, just like I thought. Well, each of you is unique and have your own ideas. We will have our first mission tomorrow. Yes, he was definitely analyzing them, Nezu thought. Are you going to have a mission? I wonder what it is, Katsuma said, very interested in that. We'll see, Brother Mahoro said. Naruto, cheerfully, what kind of mission are we going to have tomorrow? Kakashi, a task that the four of us have to do together. Naruto, very excited. What? Kakashi, a survival exercise. Naruto, a survival exercise. Sakura, disgusted. I thought we'd have a real mission, just practical. We already did those things at the academy, that is why we are here. Kakashi, that's like his previous training. A previous training? What do you mean by that? Takoyami asked. You will see, Felicity replied. Naruto, raise his hand. And what kind of training is it, then? Kakashi chuckles. Sakura, hey wait, that's a normal question, what's funny? Kakashi, laughing, well, if I answer it, they won't even like it. Of the 27 graduates who came here, only 9 will be accepted as genin. The other 18 will be rejected and resent to the academy. In other words, this is a pass or return exam, and the chances of failing are Team 7 is very scared when they hear this. You see, I told you that you weren't going to like it. Only 9 students, Komori said in surprise. So many students who pass the academy. And only 9 become genins, Ida said. And on top of that, they are returned to the academy to receive the same classes again, Tetsu said. How hard, said Mind, surprised. Well, it may seem hard, but the life of a ninja is very hard. Only the best can become genins, which is only the initial stage. The life of a genin is dangerous and can be very short, Kushina said, saddened. In addition, quality is prioritized over quantity. The audience is saddened to see another example of how harsh the world of ninjas. Naruto, it's crazy. We've worked so hard to get here, really. So it was the graduation exam. Kakashi, that one was just to filter the candidates that could become a genin or not. Naruto, WHATTTTT. Kakashi, that's how it is. I decide if they pass or not. Go to the designated training point at 5 AM and bring your ninja gear. Those exams sound really hard. I'm really glad I don't have to take them, Kaminari said worriedly. 5 AM, that's too early, exclaimed Pixie Bob. For you, we always have to wake you up to work, Mandalay replied. Naruto, ouch. Well, I am not going to be leaked. Someday people will look up to me. I have to pass the exam, Really, it is good to see that he is motivated to pursue his dream, Mirio said, happy to see that Naruto is determined to pass the exam. Sakura, if I fail, I'll be separated from Sasuke. This is a proof of love. Someone has to rethink their priorities. It can't be that the only thing that interests them is that boy, Kodai said disgustedly. Well, at least she's motivated to pass, Ashido said. Sasuke looks determined to pass the test. Kakashi, it's all you can go. He turns to look at them. Tomorrow you better skip breakfast, or you're going to vomit. The 3 are surprised to hear this. How difficult can that exam be to push them to that point? All Might said, worried. Your system seems to be different from ours. How interesting, Vlad said. But if they don't eat, wouldn't it be harmful for them? Eating properly is very important, said Lunch Rush. They shouldn't skip breakfast. That's bad for their health, said Recovery Girl, worried about the children. Well, that sensei must know what he's doing, Cementos said. I hope so, Present Mike said. The scene changes. The next morning, the 3 genins meet at the indicated place. Naruto and Sakura look tired. It's getting daylight, While they wait for Kakashi, Naruto and Sakura wait sitting on the ground and Sasuke is with his arms crossed. Are you late again? How irresponsible that is. Ida complained when he saw that Kakashi was late once again. I hope you have a good justification for that, Vlad said, disgusted by Kakashi's irresponsibility. He was probably talking to the Hokage or making a report, Ectoplasm said. Kakashi, looking uninterested. Good morning everyone, are you ready for your first day? Sakura and Naruto, hey, you're late. Kakashi, a black cat crossed my path, so I had to take the long way. His students give him dirty looks. That's the worst excuse I've ever heard, Damai said. You really couldn't come up with something better, Spinner said in surprise, while the heroes can hardly believe Kakashi's irresponsibility. I don't know why he told his students to arrive at 5 a.m. if he was the one who was late, said Ida, annoyed by Kakashi's irresponsibility. Kakashi, all right, let's get started. His students look at him attentively as Kakashi sets an alarm. Here we go. It's set for noon. He shows them some bells. Her mission is very simple. You have to take these bells off me. That's what it's all about. If you can't take them off until noon, you'll go without lunch, you'll be tied to those posts, and you'll see how I eat my lunch in front of you. So that's the test. How interesting, Midnight said, interested. I bet the one they're going to tie to the post is the brat, Shigaraki said as he smiled, imagining it. Sasuke, so that's why. Sakura, he told us not to eat breakfast so that it would cost us more work. Wait a minute, we are 3 and there are only 2 bells. Kakashi laughs. That way at least one of you will be tied up and ultimately disqualified for failing and returned to the academy. Of course, they can get suspended. They can use any weapon including the shuriken. If they are not prepared to kill me, they won't be able to take the bells off me. K-kill, isn't that extreme? Isn't this just supposed to be a test to see if you become a genin? Uraraka asked in surprise. Don't worry, Kakashi is someone very capable. That's why he tells them to go with the intention of killing. It's so they're willing to give everything, or else they won't have a chance against him, Kushina replied. Sakura, worried. Those weapons are very dangerous, sensei. They are weapons, girl, not toys. Of course they are dangerous, Aizawa sighed, annoyed. Naruto, laughing especially when he couldn't even dodge that eraser. Kakashi, class clowns are generally the weakest. They are easily ignored and because of their low rating they are losers. Naruto frowns. When I say start, you can start. Show him what you're made of, Naruto, Katsuma said, to which several in the audience supported. Naruto looks at him angrily, takes out a kunai and rushes towards his sensei while the word loser repeats itself in his mind. He runs with the kunai in his hand towards Kakashi, but he stands behind him, holding his hands and stopping the attack. Sasuke and Sakura look surprised. Naruto sees that Kakashi was pointing the kunai towards his head. Now everyone in the audience is very surprised by what just happened. Not only the fact that Naruto attacked Kakashi, but also the fact that Kakashi stopped him so quickly that they didn't see it coming. So fast. I didn't even see it coming, Monoma said, surprised. He's faster than Tenya, Midoriya said while writing in his notebook. Ida could barely believe what he had just seen. That man was so fast that he didn't even realize when he moved. Kakashi, don't rush, I haven't said start yet, releases Naruto. Sakura, it's so fast, I didn't even see it. Sasuke, so that's how a jounin is. Naruto attacked him with the intention of killing him, and he only says that. Kaminari said, surprised. Well, it's basically what he told them to do, to attack him with everything. The only thing he didn't say is to start, Shinso said. But it seems that this jounin is someone really powerful. And not to be underestimated, Ida said, still surprised by his speed. Looks like you were wrong, Bakubro, Kirishima said. Shut up, SHTTY hair. Bakugo yelled, annoyed. Kakashi looks at Naruto, but you came to me with the pure intention of destroying me, so I can say this, I'm starting to like you guys. Ready and start. The 3 students disappear from their sensei's side. Well, now yes, it has started, Shinso said. This is going to be really very interesting, Nezu said. Scene changes. Hiruzen and Uruka are sitting at a table. Hiruzen, Uruka, what did you want to tell me? I don't think you came here merely to have tea and chat. Uruka, Naruto has been assigned to Team 7. The jounin in charge of that group is the toughest coach. Hiruzen, you're talking about Kakashi. Are you worried about him? Uruka, I am. I've heard rumors about your training methods. Hiruzen takes out a book and puts it on the table. Uruka looks at it confused and asks what it is. Hiruzen, the list of all the pupils that have been assigned to Kakashi, those who passed and those who didn't. Uruka grabs the book and is surprised to read its contents. What happened? Why are you surprised? Asked Ashido. Is it really that terrible? Kaminari asked. He really reminds me a lot of Aizawa-sensei right now, Shiro said, to which the rest of class nodded in agreement, finding them similar. Scene cut to the training ground. Kakashi explains that a ninja must be able to hide successfully. Sasuke and Sakura listen from hiding in some bushes. Kakashi congratulates them on hiding well, until he looks straight ahead and sees Naruto challenging him to a fight, while Sasuke thinks he's a fool. Now everyone is shocked and frustrated to see what Naruto did, attacking Kakashi directly. That really was very foolish of him. Hiding and making a plan was much better in that situation, Aizawa said, to which several nodded in agreement while Midoriya writes down Kakashi's advice. You are being very reckless. Attacking simply out of anger, Cementos said, while Kirishima and Sato are embarrassed to remember that they did something similar in their final exam. Attack without a plan. If they had made one, they probably would have passed. Kakashi, bored compared to the others, you're really weird. Naruto, the only weird thing here is your haircut. He runs off in Kakashi's direction. He just looks at him bored and takes something out of his bag. Naruto backs up looking at Kakashi. Some in the audience laugh at Naruto's comment about Kakashi's hairstyle. But what is wrong with him? He is very handsome, Mandalay said. Wow, yes, said Pixie Bob, who wouldn't mind going on a date with Kakashi at all. Kakashi, Shinobi Battle Techniques Part 1. Taijutsu, the physical art, continues searching in his bag. Now the audience looks quite interested in the ninjas' battle techniques. Although some of them have knowledge of combat and taijutsu, they want to see how ninjas fight, especially a high-ranking one like Kakashi. Naruto looks at Kakashi furiously. Taijutsu, that's hand-to-hand combat, so why are you looking for a weapon? Naruto is surprised to see that Kakashi pulled out a copy of Ika Ika Paradise and starts reading it. The public now has the same expression as Naruto since they didn't expect Kakashi to take out a book and start reading it. But that it does. Sato asked, surprised. He's not even taking it seriously, Yaoyorozu said. Well, the difference between them right now is abysmal, Kushina said. Kakashi, what are you waiting for? Make your move. Naruto, surprised, but why are you reading that book? Kakashi, reading the book to find out what happens next. Of course, don't let it bother you. With your weak attacks, it doesn't matter much if I'm reading or whatever. It seems so. He considers Naruto weak and doesn't take the fight seriously. Present Mike said. I wonder what book he's reading, said Midnight, very interested in this fact. Naruto, furious, I'm going to crush him. He runs towards Kakashi, then punches him in the face, but Kakashi stops him with one hand. He then kicks at him, but Kakashi easily dodges. Naruto tries to hit him again, but Kakashi dodges and gets behind Naruto. A awesome Awase said, surprised at how easily Kakashi parried Naruto's attack. He is not only fast, his technique is impeccable. Hawks said, also very impressed. His speed is really amazing. I didn't even see when he got behind Naruto. Ida said, impressed. He really isn't someone to be underestimated. Despite his attitude that nothing matters, his ability is extraordinary, Takoyami said. I agree, Dark Shadow replied. Even Bakugo is impressed by Kakashi's ability, and internally acknowledges that he underestimated him, though he still believes that he could beat him. Kakashi, don't leave your enemy behind all the time. Sakura, a hand position to focus her chakra, that is the sign of the tiger. It is dangerous. It could destroy Naruto with it. Sasuke, that hand position is for the fire style jutsu. He's not just playing with Naruto, he's going to pulverize him. The audience is as shocked to hear that Kakashi could destroy Naruto as the fire style jutsu, especially a certain student and his brothers. He can control the fire. Zero asks, surprised to see another ability of the people of this world. It's similar to you, Todoroki. Hagakure exclaimed. Shoto was very surprised to see that in this universe people also have abilities that allow them to control fire. Although he no longer rejects his left side, he still doesn't have as much control over it as his right side. And his siblings shared a similar sentiment as his little brother. Dabai raised an eyebrow, since he didn't expect to see fire users in this universe. He also wonders if he could use some of those techniques, since he would need everything he can get to destroy Endeavor. Sakura, Naruto, get out of there quickly. It's going to destroy you. Kakashi, too late. He stands behind Naruto, who can only watch as Kakashi's hands reach out for him. The secret jutsu of the blade, his fingers go to Naruto's behind, then fly away 1,000 years of death. Several in the audience couldn't help but be embarrassed to see Kakashi's technique because of how ridiculous it seemed to them, while the others, particularly the children and Kushina, laugh when they see the technique because they consider it funny. What was that? It's the stupidest technique I've ever seen in my life, Bakugo exclaimed. Stupid or not, it was funny and effective, Bakubro, Kirishima replied as he tried to contain his laughter, to which Bakugo just gave him a dirty look but chose not to answer him. Wow, it was Tetsu, Tetsu said, also laughing. Sakura, that wasn't a hand signal at all, I just pushed him. Sasuke, those two are just a couple of idiots. Obviously he's not taking that fight seriously, Ida said. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that he's holding back, Yaoyorozu said. To be fair, his rivals are 3 newly graduated kids while he is a high-level ninja. If he was serious against them, he would annihilate them before they can blink, Shoto said, which caused several to look at him. Sorry if I was so direct. But you're right, if Kakashi was serious about them, he would kill them, Kushina said. Then what is the purpose of that test? Because I don't think he pretends that they can actually defeat him, Kaminari said. It's probably something similar to our final exams, Bondo said. Pretty close, Mr. Bondo, Nezu thought, who has already found out thanks to his quirk what Kakashi really wants with this test. which is to make his students see themselves and work as a team. Maybe I should design a test like this for students. Naruto fell into the lake as Kakashi went back to his book. Sasuke watches as he searches for something in his shuriken pouch. Sakura, that must be against the rules. He's a jounin, there's no way we can beat him. There must be a way for them to pass the exam. In our finals there was a way for us to pass, Uraraka said. The trick is to figure out how, Ribitasui said. They would probably be successful if the three of them worked together and came up with a strategy, Ida said. But since there are only 2 bells, one will fail, Gyro said. Damn, what a difficult exam, Ashido complained. And that's exactly what you want to find out. If you can work as a team even if your interests conflict. It's just brilliant, Nezu thought as he admires Kakashi's plan. Aizawa meanwhile is surprised to see Kakashi's actions. While both are similar in certain things, their teaching methods are very different from his. Maybe I should take notes on this guy, thought. Naruto determined not to give up attacks Kakashi from the water with shurikens, but he easily parries them. Sasuke removing his hand from his shuriken pouch. Well, at least he's not willing to give up, Mirio said. But it's foolish of you to do that. You should strategize instead of attacking him directly, Aizawa said. Scene changes once more to Uruka and Hiruzen. Uruka is reading the book completely surprised. Uruka, no, it can't be. This is much worse than I imagined. Hiruzen, Kakashi's exams are usually a bit more difficult than ours. Uruka, a bit more difficult? Not a single student has passed their exam. Hiruzen, everyone who's tried has failed Kakashi's standards and been eliminated. Now most of the audience are totally shocked by what they just saw. They never expected the exam to be so hard that no student could pass. While Nezu is not surprised that no student couldn't figure out the true purpose of the exam, Aizawa on the other hand is surprised to see this. It's true that he expels his students, but he re-enrolls them once they experience death so that in the future they give their all and don't actually die during their work as heroes. While this sensei seems to be somewhat similar to him in that aspect, although he still doesn't know much about it, he also wonders about the fate of the rejected students, but decides not to ask as it will probably be explained in the future. Not a single student made it through, said Ida surprised. So difficult, Kaminari said in disbelief. Neither Aizawa-sensei is so strict. That's already going too far, Mainta said with the students from class nodding in agreement. Nezu simply decided not to say anything as he didn't want to ruin the surprise of Kakashi's true intentions for those who didn't realize it yet. Scene changes. Naruto is coughing while Kakashi is standing in front of him. Kakashi continues reading his book. Now what are you doing? You know you won't eat until you've taken a bell off me before noon. Naruto, I know, he already told us. Kakashi, you look pretty wobbly for someone who wants to outdo the Hokage. Naruto's stomach growls. Naruto, you said not to have breakfast. How can I fight when I'm starving? Sasuke looks at him, also affected by hunger. To be fair, that's a good point. They're going to have a hard time giving it their all if they haven't eaten properly, said Lunch Rush. You really shouldn't have skipped breakfast. It's detrimental to your health, said Recovery Girl. Well, the purpose of that is to improve their stamina. While eating is important, during ninja missions they may not be able to eat for long periods of time, so it's important that they can resist hunger, Kushina explained. With which the rest of the audience, although it doesn't quite seem right that such young children go through that, they understand that the world of ninjas is much tougher than theirs, and children who want to be ninjas must be prepared for the challenges that this life entails. Sakura, have breakfast. I didn't even have dinner last night. It was a very bad idea to start the diet. Diet? Don't you know that not eating is bad for your health? Said Recovery Girl, surprised and annoyed with this bad habit of Sakura's. Seriously, that girl has a serious problem, Takage said. What can you expect from a fool like that? Shigaraki said, annoyed. Naruto, so he caught me off guard, that's all? Really? Oops, I'm hungry. I don't have any strength left, but I can't let that stop me. I must get a bell no matter what. I'll look for strength from somewhere. Really? I will pass this exam. I will not go back to the academy. I will become a ninja. Some clones come out from under the water and Kakashi just looks at them. You're trapped, sensei. You're not prepared for the attack of multi-clone Shadow. My best jutsu smile. While it's good to see you're determined to pass, you really should strategize. If you keep going like this, you're going to lose, said Yaoyorozu, to which the rest of the students nodded in agreement. While Kirishima and Sato were embarrassed to remember that during their final exams they acted very similarly to Naruto, but on the other hand their failure helped them make amends. His determination is certainly admirable, although he should not be so impulsive and think of strategies. If he manages that, he can go far, Aizawa thought. Even though he still thinks Naruto is troublesome in the 3 episodes he's watched so far, he's managed to get himself into a lot of trouble. Though he understands where his attitude is going, he does admire Naruto's determination and willingness to not give up, and has begun to see potential in him, something he didn't initially. Sakura, 7 Naruto, the clones run towards Kakashi. What? They are not images. They are real. How could he do that? She, just like Sasuke, didn't know about the progress Naruto made, Komori said. Well, she had no way of knowing. To her he's just a clown, so her surprise is understandable, Kendo said. Kakashi. Naruto runs towards him and Kakashi looks at him. It seems the stories are true. He can create multiple shadow clones, great technique. But I don't think you can keep it that long. You talk like you're the best, Naruto, but you're still the worst student. You can't beat me with that jutsu. Jingle bells go off as a clone clings to Kakashi's back, as Sasuke and Sakura look on in surprise. Clone Naruto, what? Didn't he say we shouldn't leave the enemy behind? Good advice, sensei, really. The other clones hold Kakashi. Naruto, one of my clones sneaked up the river and sneaked up on you. The real Naruto walked over, ready to punch Kakashi, and this is for punching me in the butt. Awesome, Kamakiri said. That was so manly, Kirishima said. Sakura, smiling, when did Naruto get so cool? In the last 3 chapters, Kiwaro replied. Sasuke, that was a good technique. Naruto, it's mine, and so are those bells. He punches Kakashi only to see that he actually hit one of his clones. Naruto is shocked to see this. Sakura, he's holding himself up. Naruto hit Naruto. Ooh, but what just happened? Kaminari said, confused seeing what he just saw. He just used the same jutsu that Naruto used in the previous episode in his fight with Sasuke, the substitution jutsu. Midoriya said. That jutsu is amazing, Katsuma said, impressed. Wow, it is, Sato said. Naruto, you are Kakashi's sensei, aren't you? He transformed into me using a jutsu. Naruto's clones start fighting each other. Naruto reverses the jutsu to see that Kakashi was not among them. Now the audience is surprised to see the fight between the Naruto clones, while Twice fidgets in his seat since seeing this brings back bad memory. He may have overcome his trauma, but sometimes he relapses. Seeing this, Toga hugs him to comfort him. Sakura, frustrated, Naruto, you're so uncool. Sasuke, I tricked him with the substitution jutsu. What a fool. An animation appears illustrating the explanation. With this jutsu you can quickly change your body for another object, so your enemies think they are attacking you, when in fact they are attacking a rock or a log. This leaves him vulnerable to a counterattack. In this case, the Jounin allowed himself to be caught. Then he switched bodies with one of Naruto's clones, so Naruto thought he was holding him, but in reality he was attacking himself, and the Jounin made Naruto look like a jerk. It's good that the emo explained everything. Now I can better understand what happened, Kaminari said, while some nod in agreement since Sasuke's explanation detailed what happened very well, while Midoriya notes the explanation in his notebook. That boy is someone very smart. At the moment he analyzed the situation, instantly said 13. Naruto sees a bell on the ground. He is happy to see it, thinking he must have gotten it during the fight, and bends down to pick it up. Excellent. Naruto was able to get a bell, Katsuma said happily. Don't rush to celebrate, Mr. Katsuma, Aizawa said. That's obviously. As he grabs him, a rope slips between his feet and leaves him hanging upside down in a tree. Naruto asks his companions for help. A trap, Aizawa concluded. The audience is surprised to see this. But when do I install that trap? Ashido asks, surprised. No idea, but that guy is pretty fast, so he probably installed it without us noticing, Ida said, still surprised by Kakashi's speed. Sasuke, of course it's a trap. Naruto, help. Please help me. Sasuke, that Jounin won't let his guard down, even if he fights a fool like Naruto. Well, at least Sasuke, unlike Naruto, didn't go attacking his sensei without a plan and realized both the trap and his sensei being alert, Shoto said. He analyzed the situation much better than Naruto, and probably thought of a strategy, Yaoyorozu said. Deku-kun, what do you think they should do in that situation? Uraraka asked. Well, taking into account their skills and the fact that they didn't have breakfast, both Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke are at a disadvantage and their rival is undoubtedly superior. I would say that their only chance is to work as a team. But having only 2 bells would cause conflicts between them. So I would say that there is another objective in this exercise. A logical deception like those of Aizawa's sensei, Midoriya said, which surprised the rest of the audience. A logical deception? How did I not think of that? Exclaimed Ida. But if so, what is the real goal of this practice? Kaminari asked. I guess we'll see, jamming, Yajaira replied. This boy is certainly brilliant. Nezu thought about how Midoriya found out that getting the rattle is not the real goal of the practice, while drinking some tea. Naruto tries to grab the bell, until Kakashi picks it up. Kakashi, think before you use a jutsu or whatever your opponent might use against you. And something else, if the hook is so obvious, don't take it. Naruto glares at him. That is good advice. Remember it well, students. Think about what your opponent would do before attacking, and when something seems too good to be true, it is highly likely that it is, Aizawa said to the students, who nodded in agreement, while Midoriya notes it in his notebook. Naruto, got it. Kakashi, I'm saying this because you don't have it, you think you have it, which is not the same as actually having it. You got it. Sasuke looks surprised. And that is also true. Having something is not the same as believing that you have it present, Mike said. Sasuke is planning something, Mahoro said, seeing his expression on the screen. Sasuke, this is my chance. Throws kunai and shuriken in Kakashi's direction, which hit his face, causing BLD to spurt. Naruto and Sakura look on in surprise. The audience is shocked to see Sasuke's attack on Kakashi. while Midoriya, Mirio, Mandalay, and Pixie Bob rushed to cover the eyes of the children in the audience, much to their confusion. He'll kill him, Uraraka said, surprised by what just happened. No, I don't think so. It's unlikely that Sasuke managed to kill him, Kendo said. He didn't even hesitate. He attacked to kill away, said, surprised and scared by what Sasuke did on the screen. Despite being just a child, I don't even doubt it, said All Might, also surprised. I didn't even see it coming, Aizawa said, also very surprised. Although Nezu didn't say anything, he felt very vulnerable when he saw this scene, since it reminded him of animal fighting instincts, and he can't help but feel vulnerable at this. Wow, blood. That was beautiful, said Toga, happy to see some BLD. Naruto looks in Sasuke's direction and chides him for overdoing it as Kakashi's body falls to the ground. Actually, Sasuke did exactly what his sensei said. He attacked with the intent to kill, just as he told them, Shinso said. But he didn't even doubt it, said Away, still terrified by this fact. In the ninja world you cannot hesitate, because if you do you will be the one who dies. It is kill or be killed, Kushina said. But they're just kids, All Might said, disgusted by the idea that children have to kill. And you think that the enemy ninjas will see them as children? Kushina asked. The symbol of peace, they see enemies, and they will not hesitate to eliminate them, so they must be ready to kill without hesitation, because if they do, they will be the ones to die during the time of the ninja wars. Even younger children have been sent to fight and have killed their enemies. The audience is shocked and horrified to hear this information from Kushina, as they never imagined that life in that world could be so harsh. In comparison, their world is quite peaceful, because even with the increase in villain activity since the Kamino incident and All Might's retirement, they are not bad enough to send little children to war. They also want to know more about the wars in the ninja world and child soldiers, but decide not to ask anything for now while the villains are impressed that the ninjas do not hesitate to eliminate their enemies. Kakashi exploded in a ball of smoke, and in its place was a log with the kunai stuck in it. What the hell? Exclaimed Mainta. He used the substitution jutsu again. Impressive, Shishida said. That jutsu is really a very useful technique, Midoriya said. I wanted to see more BLD, Toga complained. Sasuke, another substitution jutsu. No, he already knows where I'm hiding. Jumps from tree to tree. I have to move fast. I thought he had lowered his defense, but he did it on purpose and I fell into his trap. That sensei didn't really let his guard down. Even when it seemed like he was distracted by Naruto, he stopped paying attention to his surroundings, Yaoyorozu said. Although on the other hand, Sasuke had already analyzed his sensei. And if Sasuke and the girl don't do anything, the time he gave them will run out, Kendo said. Kakashi, so that's where it is, hiding among the trees, looking for something in his gun holder. Sakura, looking for Sasuke. Sasuke, where did you go? Don't tell me Kakashi-sensei found you. No, he can't capture my Sasuke. I won't let him. Stop suddenly and looks in the direction of Kakashi. He didn't hear me. I'm safe. It's okay that she likes that boy, but she shouldn't just be looking out for him. If it was a real battle I could die, Midnight said. You really should do something if you want to pass the exam. You've done absolutely nothing so far, Kendo said. If she goes on like this, she's going to be the one who ends up tied to that post, Ribitasui said, while Shigaraki smiled, imagining it. Kakashi, Sakura behind you. A startled Sakura turns to meet her sensei's gaze, then starts to scream. Several in the audience exclaimed as they did not expect that. That sensei is really fast. I didn't even see when it moved, Komori said. He's really much faster than me, and my brother said it is still surprised by this fact. The scene changes to Naruto, who is still hanging upside down. He lets go by cutting the rope with a kunai and falls to the ground. But at the moment he does so, another rope holds him and hangs him upside down again. Naruto complains about this. And I thought that I could not be more stupid, Bakugo said, earning him a punch from Kushina. Hey witch, what was that for? As long as you keep doing it, I'll keep hitting you, Kushina replied, much to Bakugo's annoyance. He seriously set 2 traps. Kaminari was surprised to see this. That sensei is someone very cautious, Ribitasui said. The scene changes. Kakashi makes some hand seals and the leaves of the trees begin to move around Sakura, who had a lost look until the leaves begin to disappear. But what did he do to her? Yanagi asked, puzzled. She has a lost look, as if she was hypnotized, said Shinso, who in a certain way reminds him of the effects of his quirk. Whatever he did to her is not a good thing, Kendo said, worried. Sakura, confused. Damn. There's someone. I think I felt someone. What was it? What happens? Sasuke, Sakura, excited. Sasuke appears with an arm missing. One of his legs is bent at a strange angle, and he also has several kunais and shurikens stuck all over his body. Sakura, help me, please help me. Now everyone in the audience except Kushina, who recognized that it's a genjutsu, Ragdoll, who is watching Kakashi and Zabuza's fight on the iPad that Kiddo had given him earlier, Felicity, who also knows what's really going on, are completely shocked and horrified by what they just saw. Not even the villains had expected such a Thing while once again Midoriya, Mirio, Mandalay, and Pixie Bob rush to cover the eyes of the children in the audience so they don't see such a horrible scene, much to the confusion of Katsuma and Eri and annoyance to Kota and Mahoro. It can't be, Uraraka said, covering her mouth with her hands, completely terrified. What kind of training is that? All Might asked, also horrified to see the condition of Sasuke. I'm really glad I don't have that, sensei said, mind trembling with fear. I really don't think anyone wants to have him as a sensei, Gyro said, terrified. That's not manly, Kirishima said, just as horrified as the rest. Oh, it looks so cute. Beaten up and covered in BLD, just like Deku, said Toga, blushing when she saw it, much to the chagrin of the heroes and students. Sakura has a horrified expression as a tear runs down her face. She screams in terror only to end up passing out. Poor thing, she's going to be traumatized, Ashido said, while the villains laugh as they find this funny, much to the chagrin of the rest of the audience. Kakashi, I think I'm exaggerating a bit. Kakashi continues reading his book, but she has to learn these things. You think exaggerating a bit? You almost killed the boy and left the girl with a trauma, Nejire exclaimed, surprised by what she heard. And on top of that, keep reading that book as if nothing had happened, Kendo said, also surprised. Now that I think about it, I wonder what that book is, that he's so interested in it, Melissa said. Maybe it's a ninja strategy book or something, Yaoyorozu said. I would really like to read it. It must be a very interesting book, Midoriya said, interested in the ninja techniques that the book supposedly contain, while Kushina and Felicity do their best to contain their laughter since they know what the book is really about. Sasuke sounds like Sakura. Now the audience is quite confused seeing Sasuke completely healthy and having no idea what just happened to Sakura. Ew, but wasn't he hurt? How is it possible that he doesn't have a scratch? Ashido asked blankly, as well as several in the audience. Maybe he has super regeneration like Wolverine, Kaminari said. No, if that were the case, I would know what happened to Sakura, but that's not the case. It had to be something else, Ida said. It's probably another one of your sensei's techniques, Ribitasui said. I really want to know more, Midoriya said, excited to see a new technique and wanting to learn more about it. But what a scam, Toga complained, and I wanted to see him covered in BLD. Kakashi, Shinobi Battle Technique Number 2, Jinjutsu reading him book. Sakura studied it in class, but she still can't recognize it. So that's what that technique is called, Midoriya said, noting this new information in his notebook. But we still don't know anything about that technique, Tetsu complained. They'll probably explain it to us next, Kendo said. Sasuke, Jinjutsu, it's just mind control. I wasn't surprised to catch Sakura, but mental control, all for one said, very interested in this technique, which sent chills to the rest of the audience. Jinjutsu or illusory techniques are responsible for manipulating the flow of chakra in the victim's brain, thus causing an interruption in their senses, often used to create false images or to cause pain from trauma. The body is led to believe the pain is real, Kushina explained, which greatly surprised the audience when she found out what a Jinjutsu is. While Midoriya notes this information in his notebook. Sasuke, I'm not like Sakura nor Naruto. Kakashi, say that after you have a bell. Kakashi and Sasuke stare at each other. His arrogance will lead to his ruin, Spinner said. He should get the bell first, rather than say that ectoplasm said. Sasuke throws some shurikens in Kakashi's direction, but he dodges easily. Kakashi tells him that normal attacks are useless against him, but Sasuke throws a kunai to cut a nearby rope, making Kakashi realize what Sasuke intended to do. Some kunais are thrown in Kakashi's direction, but he dodges just in time. Sasuke kicked him, but Kakashi caught his foot. Sasuke throws a punch at his face, but again Kakashi stops him. He tries to hit him with his knee, but once again Kakashi evades him. Kakashi laughs when he notices that Sasuke was able to brush the bells before walking away. The audience is left in shock watching the fight between Sasuke and Kakashi, because while Kakashi easily blocks Sasuke, Sasuke's abilities are still impressive for a 12-year-old boy. Awesome, he's so manly, Kirishima exclaimed excitedly. FRK, yes, that was fascinating, Tetsu said. It's amazing that being so young they can fight like that, Awase said, surprised. Well, he's not the best student in the academy for nothing. You know, Kushina said, proud of the abilities of her friend Makoto's son. Kakashi, staring at Sasuke's fears. I guess I won't be able to continue reading Ika Paradise for now. The audience is once again surprised to discover the title of the book that Kakashi was reading, while several such as Yaoyorozu, Gyro, and Pixie Bob blush with embarrassment. Midoriya hides his face as red as a tomato behind his notebook, especially embarrassed for having thought it was a ninja strategy book and wanted to read it. Ika Paradise, Midnight said, very interested in the book. Is that what you're reading? Natsuo said, quite surprised and blushing, imagining the content of the book. What does that mean? Asked Eri. And nothing. You'll find out when you're older. Mirio responded immediately. What is that man reading? Kota and Shigaraki wondered. I would like to have that book, Mineta said. Scene changes. Sakura wakes up and wonders what happened, then remembers what happened and worries about Sasuke, asking him to survive. Well, at least Sasuke is okay just like her ninja said. Although the poor thing was quite scared by that, Komori said, trembling as she remembered the image of Sasuke being injured. Naruto, still hanging from the tree. Geez, what are those things down there? I know. They're lunchboxes. A ninja must see through disappointment. Don't tell me he's going to do what his sensei told him not to, Vlad said, annoyed. Surely he will. Eating that food himself, Tiger said. Well, to be fair, the boy hasn't had breakfast. He must be hungry, Lunch Rush said, to which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement. Scene changes to Kakashi and Sasuke staring at each other. Kakashi, well, you are different from the others, I must admit. Sasuke started moving his hands very quickly. He moves his hands very fast, Fayumi said in surprise. His speed still impresses me. They may not be as fast as me or my brother, but he's faster than some heroes, even said it is still surprised by the speed of the people of this world. Why do you move them that way? What does he do? Katsuma asked, very interested in these ninja techniques as a fan of Edshot the ninja hero. They are hand stamps, Kushina explained. Ninjas perform them for their ninja techniques except for taijutsu and kenjutsu, which don't require them. And what is that? Kaminari asked. I know that taijutsu is hand-to-hand combat techniques, but I have no idea that it is kenjutsu. Kenjutsu involves the use of swords, which is why hand seals are not needed, Kushina explained. The rest of the audience nodded in understanding at Kushina's explanation, and Midoriya notes this new information in his notebook. Sasuke, fire style, fireball jutsu. Kakashi, surprised, what? A genin can't use a fire jutsu. It requires a lot of chakra. No way. Sasuke expels a large ball of fire from his mouth that goes towards Kakashi. When the fire goes out, it can be seen that Kakashi is no longer there. Sasuke is surprised to see this. The audience is shocked to see what Sasuke just did, especially a certain student and his brothers. He can control the fire, Kamakiri asked, surprised to see this time a skill based on fire. It's similar to you, Todoroki, Ashido exclaimed. Shoto was very surprised to see Sasuke's technique and was really impressed by his skill with it, and his siblings shared a similar sentiment as their little brother. Awesome, I should try that technique like that, Dabai said, quite excited with the idea of adding that technique to his arsenal, especially since being a ranged attack he could bypass his body's weakness to flames and roast endeavor. Sasuke, looking in all directions. Where did he go? Behind me? Below? Kakashi, where? A hand that came out of the ground grabbed Sasuke's leg. He looked at him surprised. I am where you least expect it, pulling him down, letting only his head show on the ground right under your feet. Wow, at what point do I get there? Mindo exclaimed, quite surprised. These ninjas are really impressive, Midoriya said while writing in his notebook. They are not enemies to be underestimated, Vlad said, to which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement. Kakashi, crouching down looking at Sasuke, earth technique. Headhunter style, you can't move EA. That's ninjutsu, the third shinobi battle technique. What is ninjutsu? Katsuma asked. It is a ninja technique that, unlike genjutsu, which causes the opponent to experience illusions, the effects of ninjutsu are real. It relies on the different types of chakra and hand seals to be effective. In addition, many ninjutsu can be classified as elemental jutsus in cases where they are of the water, earth, fire, wind, or lightning element, Kushina explained, while Midoriya notes this information in his notebook. Then the element he uses, earth, said Pixie Bob. That's kind of like my quirk. What Kakashi-sensei did is use an earth technique to travel through the ground looking for his target, and once he located him, he buried him under the ground, leaving only his head outside to immobilize him, Midoriya said. Everyone stared in surprise at his analysis of the situation. That was quite accurate actually, Kushina said, surprised by Midoriya's analysis. Kakashi, you're talented and you were right. You're different from others, but different isn't always better. He stands up and leaves with his book in hand. Remember that the sealed one is the one they always want to file down. Sasuke, annoyed, damn. That is indeed a very good lesson, students. Remember that, especially your Bakugo, Aizawa said. His students nodded in agreement, except for Bakugo who, although he understands his sensei's words, does not agree with him. Scene changes to Naruto about to eat the food, until Kakashi surprises him. Naruto tries to excuse himself by saying it's a joke, but Kakashi doesn't buy it. And he did. He was going to eat alone, Vlad said, annoyed by Naruto's behavior. Though his sensei caught him away, said, somewhat scared. Someone's in trouble, Toga said. Scene changes to where Sasuke is buried. Sasuke, angry, he is stronger than me. I must admit, hears a noise, only to meet Sakura's gaze. Sakura, scared and screams, ah. Sasuke is just a head without a body and he's talking. Passes out. Yes, it left her traumatized, Nenjire said. Can you blame her? That was truly a frightening sight, Kodai asked. Although she doesn't like Sakura too much and her attitude, she can understand a little how she feels. While some in the audience laugh as they find this scene funny. Sasuke, surprised and to think that's my partner. The Amo is right. He got an idiot brat for a partner, Shigaraki said. Hey, she is very scared by what she saw. Hagakure replied. And what do I care? That's just an idiot brat, Shigaraki said while scratching his neck, quite annoyed. Hagakure chose not to answer her, because she can't think of anything else but to yell at him like Bakugo would, something she's not good at. Sakura's eyes open slowly. Sasuke is next to her watching her. Sakura sits up and hugs him. Sasuke, hey, enough, let me go. Let me go. Walks away from Sakura. I have to get a bell before lunch. I don't have much time left. Sakura, Sasuke, are you still trying to get one of those bells? Sasuke, I played one a while ago. Next time I'll get one. Sakura is surprised to hear this. Sakura, pretending to be happy, that's really great. I can't believe you did that. You're amazing. Inner Sakura, desperate, it can't be. He touched one of those bells. I can never have one, which means that Sasuke will approve and I won't. We will be separated forever. No, no, no. That's still weird to see, Shoto said when he saw Inner Sakura, to which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement. Toga, on the other hand, can identify a little with Sakura since she also hid her true self for a long time. And both are girls in love. I really wish she could stop hiding her real feelings. It will only hurt her more. Thought. Although someone should reevaluate their priorities. It can't be that that boy is the only thing on their minds. Kendo said, annoyed. Sakura, it's almost lunchtime. There really isn't much time left, so maybe we should give up and try it next year. Sasuke gives her a dirty look and Sakura looks down sadly. Are you seriously telling them to quit? Kodai said, surprised. I understand that sensei and the test are difficult, but if he can't handle it, how does he expect to become a ninja? Ninja said, also surprised. If you give up so easily, you will never get far. Midnight said. I still don't think Imo will give up. Dabai said with a frown. After all, he has goals and is determined to get what he wants. Some in the audience nodded in agreement with his words. Sasuke remembers a man with red eyes with 3 tomos in them. Who is it? Fayumi asked, trying to get a better look at the red-eyed man. All you see are his eyes, Ashido sighed, while Midoriya drew the eyes of that man in his notebook. His eyes, they are really very strange, Ri said. I wonder if he has some kind of special ability, Gyro said. Maybe we'll see it in the future, Sato said. Possibly the person Sasuke wants to kill, Yaoyorozu said after thinking about it for a bit. Several nodded in agreement with this theory. I wonder what he did to him, Uraraka said, somewhat uncomfortable even with Sasuke's murderous intention. Sasuke, I'm the only one who can destroy it. Sakura looks at him in surprise. Sakura, what? Who? Are you talking about the sensei? Sasuke, that day I was crying. Sakura, when were you crying? Sasuke, that was my. Sakura, what? But what happened to you? Sasuke, I am an Avenger and that means I must be stronger than my prey. I need the training. So, it's an Imo Avenger, Mind scoffed at Sasuke. And what is he taking revenge for? Kaminari asked. If our headmaster's theory is correct, and the disappearance of Sasuke's clan and his desire to kill someone specific are linked, it's possible that he's the killer, Midoriya said, to which several nodded in agreement. Though I wonder what he was talking about. I really didn't understand much of what he said, Ashido said. We'll probably know more in the future, Yanagi said. Alarm sounds indicating time is up. Sasuke, I wasted too much time. He walks away as Sakura looks at him worriedly. Whoops, their time is up. Katsuma exclaimed. I wonder who they're going to tie to the post, Kibara said. I say that to the brat, Shigaraki said, smiling, just imagining it, while the rest of the league laughs. Maybe she just passed out after all, although the others failed. At least they did something to try to get the rattlesnake, Koda said. I think it's going to be Naruto, for trying to eat himself, Mahoro said. The scene changes. Naruto is tied to the trunk of a tree while his stomach growls with hunger and his companions are sitting on the ground. It seems you were right, sister, Katsuma said. Of course I do, said Mahoro, proud of having succeeded. It's what you get for trying to eat yourself, Ida said. Kakashi, looking at his students, their stomachs are rumbling. That's too bad. By the way, regarding this exercise, I have decided not to return any of them to the academy. Naruto is glad to hear this. What? Did he just approve them? Subaraba exclaimed in surprise. But how? At least one should have failed, Ida said. Sakura, some in the crowd said. Something here is not right. There is no way he would have approved them, Aizawa thought. Sakura, surprised. What happens? All I did was pass out. Is he going to give me points for that? Well, she at least admits it. That all she did was be obsessed with Imo and pass out, Kendo said. Are they really going to approve it? Ashido asked, surprised. No, impossible. Those 3 didn't understand what the real purpose of this exam was. Unless, yes, that's definitely it. Nezu thought that due to his quirk he was able to deduce Kakashi's real intention. Inner Sakura, happy love beat cha, cha, cha. Now the audience can't help but feel embarrassed seeing Inner Sakura's reaction. I really don't think it was that, Kendo said, quite embarrassed by what she is seeing. Let her continue to think that it is so, Monoma said. I really don't understand what she sees, Minta said, especially if we take into account that he has no interest in her and considers her a fool, Siro said. The only thing I can say is that love is blind, said Pixie Bob. Naruto and Sakura are happy thinking that all 3 of them passed, until Kakashi points out that he actually kicked all 3 of them out of the program permanently. Naruto and Sakura freak out upon hearing this, while Sasuke is serious. The audience is immensely surprised to hear this, as they were not expecting this. It was already strange that he would have approved them, but he actually expels them. Sato exclaimed in surprise. Not even Aizawa-sensei dared to do that much. Shiro said, "That's not manly at all." Kirishima exclaimed. It seems like they weren't exaggerating when they said that sensei was someone so strict. Shota said surprise. Scene changes to where Uruka and the Hokage are. Uruka, excited, this is incredible. Kakashi has never passed a single student, he fails all of them. Yes, we already noticed, Ectoplasm said. That's because none of the students discovered the real purpose of this exam, Nezu thought, although I wonder what happened to them. I don't think Kakashi permanently kicked them out of the ninja program. But well, I guess we'll probably see later. Hiruzen, Uruka, this group is young, I still can't say if it would be good for them to face the rigors and dangers of the ninja. However, Kakashi has been right about those who have failed. I don't understand what you meant by that, Kaminari said. Yes, what do you mean by that? Asked Iri. Well, what the Hokage means by that is that Kakashi is the one who decides if they are ready to face the dangerous life of a ninja. And if the previous students are not considered suitable, they better wait a little longer before becoming ninjas, Kushina said. Scene cuts to where Naruto and his group are. Naruto complains about Kakashi's decision to expel them from the program, reminding him that he said that if they failed he would return them to the academy, and that he can't change his mind and throw them out. Seriously, that's going too far. At least Aizawa-sensei re-enrolls all the students he expels, Ashido said. And it's only for us to give it all of ourselves, Aoyama added. Kakashi, you guys don't think like ninjas. You think like three spoiled children. Sasuke gets upset at this and runs off in Kakashi's direction. Sakura, Sasuke, no. Kakashi threw him to the ground and sat on top of him, supporting his head with his foot. But is he stupid? Bakugo exclaimed. I tried to attack him earlier and it didn't work. What makes you think you're going to succeed now? Not to say that it is extremely disrespectful to attack your sensei like that, Ida said as he makes a robotic cut, while the teachers agree with him. Still, his speed is impressive, Shoji said. Kakashi, you think it's all because of you. Sakura yells at him, annoyed, let go. You can't put your foot on him like he's an insect. Kakashi, you don't know what it means to be a ninja, you think it's a game. To be fair, that sensei is right. Being a ninja is not child's play, but a great responsibility, in the same way as being a hero, and if they are not willing to take it seriously they should dedicate themselves to something else, Aizawa said, while the rest of the heroes nod in agreement. Honestly, I also have doubts if they are prepared for ninja missions. Naruto is a brat who wants to attract attention and whose reckless actions will put him or his companions in danger. The girl only thinks of that boy. And Sasuke thinks he is stronger than the others, which leads him to underestimate his opponents, Vlad said. Some nodded in agreement with him, while Kushina glared at him for calling her son an attention-seeking brat but didn't say anything since Vlad has a valid point here. Kakashi, why do you think we put them in a team? Have you considered that question for even a moment? The audience is a bit surprised by Kakashi's words. Some are confused, while others who already realize the real objective of the exercise see their theories confirmed, although they refrain from saying anything so as not to ruin the surprise for those who haven't realized it yet. Sakura, confused, what do you mean? Kakashi, I mean, they never realized this exercise was involved, they didn't even suspect it. Naruto, scared, what was it about? It seems that there was a logical deception in that exercise, Ida said. But what is the real goal then? Kaminari asked. It is not obvious. Teamwork, Bakugo said. That's why they failed, Nejire said, understanding now. But how are they supposed to know if there are only two bells? One of them would still have failed. I better let Kakashi explain, Nezu thought, as he drank some tea. Kakashi, yes, it was what determined whether they passed or not. Sakura, but that's it, I wanted to ask him from the beginning. Kakashi, annoyed, use your head, 3 people in a team, why do you think we would do that? Naruto, annoyed at how to assume because they chose 3 people in a team, we didn't make the rules. Kakashi, angry, it's something basic. Teamwork, the 3 looked at him in surprise. That sensei is really scary, said Minda, scared when he saw Kakashi's expression, to which several nodded in agreement. Although on the other hand he's right. I can't believe that none of them thought of working as a team, Shota said. To be fair, most of us wouldn't have thought of it, Komori said. Sakura, just working as a team. That was the joke. Kakashi, that was the joke. But now it's too late. Now if the 3 had come to me, maybe they could have been removed. But it doesn't matter anymore, it's over. Sakura, wait a minute, you organized it with 3 people. But with only 2 bells, only 2 of us would have gotten one, and that would have caused a conflict and the team would have fractured. Well, to be fair, Sakura is smarter than she appears, Takage said. It's just that so far the only notable trait she's shown is that she's obsessed with Sasuke, Jiro said, still embarrassed as she remembered Sakura's attitude. If I had thought a bit earlier instead of obsessing over that boy, maybe they would have passed, Midnight said, but then again, she's still too young and has a lot of growing to do. What else can you expect from a brat who has had an easy life, Spinner said, annoyed with Sakura's attitude. and several in the audience couldn't help but agree with him. Kakashi, exactly. I wanted to face them on purpose. I wanted to know if you guys could handle that and put the team before you. A genin must have a natural instinct for teamwork, but you didn't even think of it. All this time he was testing them, Ashido said, surprised. I think we would have fallen into that trap too, Hagakure said. Take this as a lesson, students. Never take anything for granted and evaluate a situation from all possible angles, said Aizawa, impressed by Kakashi. This sensei. He's really fascinating. I would never have thought of something like this. I should implement something like this in the future. Kakashi. Sakura, she looks at him surprised. You were obsessed with Sasuke, who disappeared when Naruto was in front of you, and you didn't move a finger to help him. Sakura hangs her head in embarrassment. Naruto looks at him. You did everything by yourself. Absolutely everything. Naruto closes his eyes sadly. And as for you, Sasuke squashes his head a little more. You think that the others don't even reach your ankles? You're so arrogant. He even analyzed their behavior, Away said, surprised. To be fair, it's not that difficult to know how those three behave, Shishida said, to which the rest of the audience nodded in agreement. Kakashi. Ninja missions are carried out as a team. Of course they need individual skills, but teamwork is the most essential. Every shinobi understands this. When individuals get on top of the team, this can only lead to failure and death. For example, Sakura. Kakashi pulls a kunai out of his holster and brings it to Sasuke's neck. Kill Naruto now or Sasuke will die. Sakura looked at him scared, and Naruto started looking at Sakura and Kakashi scared. He's not going to kill anyone, is he? Minda asked, scared. No, he's just teaching them, since something like this could happen on a mission or in the life of a ninja. Sometimes ninjas have to make very difficult decisions that affect their comrades, said Felicity, saddened as she remembered a certain trio from Cure and how one of them ended up committing suicide so that his companions could live. And in the life of a hero that is not different either. Many times the villains will endanger the lives of civilians or other heroes, so that we agree to their demands, Aizawa said, and you have to make tough decisions at those times. To the students, nod upon hearing their sensei's words. They know that their future as heroes will not be easy, and they will find themselves in difficult circumstances, but they hope to be able to do the right thing and save lives. Kakashi. That's what happens in a mission, puts the kunai away. Sasuke looks down in relief, as do his teammates. The enemy takes a hostage, swinging the kunai. You have to take an impossible mission, and someone's going to end up dead. Standing on top of Sasuke and walking away. Every mission puts your life on the line. Sasuke stands up, and Kakashi approaches a rock. See this stone and the names on it. They are all ninjas who were honored as heroes in our village. Well, at least he's not lying to you. That the life of a ninja is hard and dangerous. In our world, many kids want to be heroes because they think it's cool. When the life of a hero is hard and dangerous, 13 said, to which the rest of the heroes nodded in agreement. And that's why Stain's actions of eliminating the false heroes are justified. Spinner said heroes are only after things like money or fame and don't care about helping people like a true hero. Would the heroes refrain from saying anything because they know that arguing with a villain is useless? Though that stone to honor heroes is a great idea, we should do something like that with the heroes of our world, Komori said. Yeah, All Might's name should be there, Ashido said, excited by the idea, as well as several in the audience, while others who realized the real purpose of the monument keep quiet so as not to spoil what is to come. Naruto. Happy. That's it. That's it now. I know. I've made up my mind. I'm going to carve my name on that stone. I'm not going to live and die for nothing. I'm going to become a hero, really. Most of the audience, excluding the villains, are happy to hear Naruto's desire and determination, while the villains are quite surprised and confused, since even though Naruto is marginalized and rejected by society like them, he does not hate or resent them, but wishes to be a hero. I don't get it. Why do you want to do that? Shigaraki asked. I guess it's the difference between us. Despite being an outcast like us, he doesn't hate society, Dabai said, reflecting on Naruto. Several in the audience agreed with him on the differences between Naruto and the villains. Kakashi looks at his students. They're a special kind of hero. Naruto. Very happy. Hey, and what kind of heroes are they? Please tell us. And well. Kakashi. They're all KIC. Naruto looks at him blankly. KIC. And what does that mean? Kaminari asked. I guess we'll find out, Gyro said. Naruto. Very happy. That sounds great. Sakura. That means killed in combat. They're all dead. Naruto looks away sadly, and Sasuke just looks seriously. Now the people in the audience, who are not surprised and saddened to learn the significance of KIC and the function of the monument as a memorial to the deceased ninjas. To think that he wanted All Might's name to appear on a rock like that, Ashido said, embarrassed. Though there should still be a monument like that in our world, to honor fallen heroes, Kiwara said. In the United States there is a monument to honor the soldiers who died in Vietnam. There should be one like that for the heroes too, said Tsunotori, to which several nodded in agreement, since it seems like a good way to honor fallen heroes in the line of duty. May the souls of these heroes find peace in the afterlife, Shizaki prayed. It's amazing how the music perfectly captures the sad essence of this moment, Gyro said, saddened by both the music and the sad revelation. Kakashi. This is a memorial stone. The names of my closest friends are engraved here. Sakura looks at him sadly. Naruto wanted to cry, and Sasuke is serious. The audience is saddened by this revelation. That Kakashi's friends are dead and their names were carved on the memorial. How sad. I can't even imagine what it must feel like, Uraraka said, holding back tears. So you also lost a friend, Aizawa thought, saddened by Kakashi, and surprised to notice another similarity between them. Since Kakashi lost his friends, well, he lost Oboro. But while Kakashi seems to be alone, he still has Hisashi, Nimuri, and his students. The Todorokis are also saddened to hear this because they also know what it is like to lose a loved one with the death of their brother Toya. Even the League feels pain for Kakashi since they lost their partner Magni. Kushina can't help but cry when she remembers Abido and Rin. Kakashi, okay, I'm going to give you one more chance, but it's going to be much more difficult for you. You'll have 3 hours to get a bell. Excellent. They will give them another chance. Katsuma celebration. I hope they do things right this time, Mahoro said. Kakashi, eat your lunch now to gain strength. Naruto and Sakura look at him in surprise, but Naruto won't eat anything. Naruto gets nervous hearing this. It's your punishment for breaking the rules and trying to eat yourself. If someone tries to feed him, that person will be kicked out immediately. I make the rules and you follow them. Got it. Poor. What a horrible punishment, Shota said. It's what you get for not following the rules and wanting to eat by yourself, Ida replied to the vice president of Class B. Sasuke and Sakura eat their lunch as Naruto's stomach growls. Naruto, no problem. I can go days without eating. Weeks, really? No problem, no problem. Oh boy, it gets sad. If you stopped eating for so long you would die. We all need to eat, said Lunch Rush. I really feel bad for now, Uraraka said. Sasuke here hands out the food to Naruto, who looks at him in surprise. Oh, how nice of you. Komori was glad to see that Sasuke offers his food to Naruto. Sasuke so far showed that he didn't care about his teammates, but maybe his sensei's words made him change his mind, Shoto said, while thinking that to some extent Sasuke is similar to him, since until the sports festival he was only guided by his hatred for his father and had no interest in his teammates. But Midoriya's words made him change. But aren't you going to get in trouble for that? His sensei explicitly forbade Naruto to eat away, said, scared as he imagined Kakashi's reaction if he discovered them. I better let them see it and not ruin the surprise for them, Nezu thought, who with his quirk already figured out Kakashi's real intentions. Once again he is testing them. He wants to see if these three can be a team. Just brilliant. If he existed in our world, I would definitely offer him a teaching position at UA with his knowledge and strategies. He would be a great acquisition and would train great heroes. Sakura, worried. No, Sasuke. You can't do that. You already heard what the sensei said. Sasuke, Kakashi is gone. We have to get those rattles as a team, and if Naruto is hungry he will be weak and ineffective. That hurts the team and jeopardizes the mission. Naruto. Sakura. Naruto looks at her with a twinkle in his eye. Sakura narrowing her eyes, giving him a small smile as Kakashi spies on them. Well, Sasuke has a valid point there. They didn't even have breakfast. If Naruto doesn't eat he'll be very weak and he'll be more of a burden than a help, Shishida said, to which several nodded in agreement. But if your sensei told you not to feed him you shouldn't feed him. You're breaking the rules, Ribitasui said. And on top of that terrifying sensei is there spying on them, said Minda scared. Possibly I'm testing them one more time, Yaoyorozu said. Naruto, well, thanks. Sakura, don't thank me, just hurry up and eat. Naruto, but that's your lunch. Sakura, I'm on a diet. I mean I don't eat as much as Sasuke, so just take it, Naruto. Well, at least Sasuke managed to change the girl's mind, Kodai said. She really should think more about other things, like the fact that she has 2 teammates, Yanagi said. But how do you expect me to take it if he's tied up? Shoji asked. Naruto, I can't take it. I can't move my hands. You have to give it to me. Sakura, wow. This girl is really dumb, Shigaraki complained. Really, doesn't he see that he's tied up and can't catch him? Spinner said. And what's with that reaction? Not that I would have asked her to marry him. Nejire said. Sasuke, hurry up, he'll be back any minute. Sakura, eye twitching, I'll only do it once and I'll never do it again. Naruto, clear as a rattle. Sakura. Naruto smiles and Sakura feeds him, but an explosion makes her stop. Several in the audience yelled, quite surprised by what just happened. Kakashi comes out of the smoke as Team 7 looks at him in fear. They broke the rules. I hope they are ready to suffer the consequences. Performs hand seals as the sky darkens and lightning appears. That guy can be pretty scary when he sets his mind to it, Awase said, trembling with fear. And that you say it, said Minda, also scared. And what about the lightning? Is this guy a Thor fan or what? Fukudashi asked in his speech bubble. Damn it, even here they mentioned that bastard Dabai, thought, annoyed at the mention of Thor. Wait, if he summons those lightning bolts, does that mean he has the lightning element? Kaminari asked, to which Kushina nodded in confirmation. Great, I want to see his techniques already. I wonder if he could do something like that for an ultimate move, he said excitedly, as Midoriya jotted down this information from Kakashi in his notebook. Kakashi, Any last words? Sasuke looks at him seriously and Sakura trembles in fear. Naruto, scared, but you said that. Kakashi, yes. Naruto, you said that there were 3 of us. That's what he said. That's why. Sakura and lowers his voice worried and glares at Sasuke. Sasuke, we're on this team together and we're going to do it together. Sakura, if that's true, we fed him because the 3 of us are one. Naruto, yes, 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 really? Kakashi, the 3 are one. He walks over and crouches down a bit. That's his justification. They are approved. Now the audience is very surprised to notice how quickly things changed. Just a few moments ago it looked like Kakashi was going to expel them in earnest for not following the rules. But his students came together as a team and ended up passing. They just passed, Uraraka said in surprise. They are the first team to pass, Kendo said surprised. So I was right once again. I kept testing them. The only bad thing about my quirk is that it ruins the experience a bit. I end up deducing what is going to happen. Until now the only one who managed to fool me successfully was Loki, Nezu thought, as he drank more tea. Where does the director get all that tea? Or Felicity refills his cup with her powers. Midnight wondered. Naruto, confused, Kakashi, they're approved. Sakura, not understanding, what do you mean? How are we approved? But I don't understand. If they broke the rule of not feeding him, Asui said, confused by this fact. Don't worry, it will be explained soon, Felicity said. Kakashi, they're the first team I approve of. Sky begins to clear. The others did exactly as I told them and fell into every one of my traps. They didn't think for themselves. A ninja must see through deception in the ninja world. Those who break the rules are considered scum. It's true, but so that's what you mean, that they should think for themselves and not blindly do everything they're told, Midoriya said, while the others nodded in agreement with this observation. But he also says that rule breakers are scum. Ribbit, Asui said, confused. I always thought that to be a hero I had to follow the rules and that anything that deviated from that was to be like the villains. But after seeing how my friends risked themselves to save Bakugo, I'm not so sure anymore. Kakashi, those who abandon a friend are worse than scum. Now the audience is surprised by Kakashi's words since they did not expect him to say something like that. But they recognized that it was something admirable. That's very true, Kushina said while tears came out of her eyes, since she knows perfectly well where those words come from and what made Kakashi and later his son adopt them despite all the evil that Obito caused. It's good to know that his legacy also inspired people. That is actually a very good message, All Might said, moved. What he means by those words is that while following rules is important, these are not everything. There are things that are much more important, like the lives of your friends and teammates, Felicity said. For example, suppose 3 of you have a mission to complete and villains kidnap one of you, what would they do? Will they leave their friend to chance and continue with the mission or come to rescue him? You don't need to answer, just consider it. I would never abandon one of my friends. I would come to his rescue without hesitation. Midoriya exclaimed. And I also, rescue should always be a hero's priority. Ada said. Abandoning a friend is not manly at all, Kirishima said, as several students joined in an agreement. Asui feels embarrassed and saddened to see this. Since she opposed Bakugo's rescue, Uraraka, seeing this, hugs her to comfort her. I'm not telling you this to make you feel guilty, Tsuyu, Felicity said kindly to the student from class. There was a time when Kakashi was adamant about following the rules, but there was an event in his life that made him change. And you too, probably after seeing these stories in the theater, will end up changing your point of view on certain things, Felicity concluded, while Asui nods and the rest of the audience also reflects on this. It's true that since they first came to this theater hand in hand with Kiddo to see the MCU and later other stories with other hosts, their mentality about certain things has changed a lot and they began to question others. They also wonder what happened to Kakashi and what made him change, but they refrain from asking anything since it may be revealed later. And their hostess is not going to make spoilers. Sakura looks at him happily. Naruto tries to hold back tears and Sasuke gave him a small smile. Naruto, holding back tears, he's, kind of cool. Kakashi, the exercise is over, the 3 of you passed. Team 7 begins its first mission tomorrow, holds up his thumb. Naruto's right, his sensei is kind of cool. Once you get used to him, he's actually pretty cool, Bondo said. Actually yes, he looks a lot like Aizawa sensei, Shiro said. He also reminds me a bit of Wolverine. At first we were shocked by his personality, but once you get used to it he ends up being someone nice, Tetsu said, to which several nodded in agreement. And they're going to have their first ninja mission. Yuri excited. It's going to be an incredible adventure for sure, Katsuma said excitedly. Sakura, yes. Naruto cries with happiness. I did it, really? I'm a ninja. Kakashi, let's go home. He leaves with Sasuke and Sakura. Inner Sakura, cha. I did it. Naruto, angry. I knew they would do that. It always happens like this, really? Hey, you forgot to untie me. At the end of the episode, the audience laughs a bit at the fact that Naruto was tied to the post. They also thought about the new sensei of Team 7, what they had learned in this episode, and how Kakashi taught Team 7 to work as a team and how you shouldn't always follow the rules to the letter but think critically. This show gets more and more interesting with each passing episode. Team 7 sensei Kakashi had proven to be a very interesting character and with a great resemblance to Aizawa. Although at the same time he was different, while Aizawa does what he does to make his students take being a hero seriously, Kakashi does what he does to make his students look like a team and support each other. He also had a mysterious past and they couldn't help but wonder what had happened to him in life, but it would probably be explained in episodes futures. Well, I'm done with this episode. In the next one we're going to see the first mission of Team 7, said Felicity, which greatly excited the audience who want to see Naruto's journey and what ninja missions are like in this world. What are you waiting for? Bakugo exclaimed, play it now.